episode of the FRV podcast. And like we was just talking about, we don't actually have a main topic. We do, however, want to talk about why we think why we think that suicide is the last option for so many men. And on this one, we're kind of just going to talk normally as if we wasn't filming anything and just see how it goes.
Yeah, mate, yeah. Well, that's it, though,
It's
mate.
been a long day.
I think it's I mean, it's like you said, men are literally 3 times more likely to kill themselves, after being separated. Like you said, so I don't know, mate.
It's a hard one. It's one of the hardest subjects to get into because I think one of the biggest problems for me with it is if you ask, men are pretty straightforward with their reasons why they think. And kind of when you speak to women about it and say, what do you think? They kind of go really defensive about it. This is from personal experience, not, it's probably very different to a lot of other relationships out there. But, I all the time try to ask females about it, like, what do you think? And they're like, oh, I don't know. That's just like, I don't know. Have you ever thought about it? Not really. And I'm like, that's probably one of the reasons why.
It's a weird one, mate, isn't it? Like, I suppose until you really know, like, about the suicide rates, in men, like, I think, I don't know, I suppose even some men are not ignorant, but I suppose some men are like a bit uneducated in how many men do take their lives every day in the UK, and women as well, but separated parents, Fathers for Justice, released a report on it, and they said that, like, men are 3 times more likely to kill themselves, after being separated from their children and stuff like that. So,
see, that's why I like, because on again, Fresh and Fit's podcast, they said they were talking about. Because I was watching this last night, so it's fresh on my mind. They were talking about when men love women, it's real love, but kind of, it's like an ideal love. But women's love for men isn't the same. It's kind of, what you're providing and stuff like that. And I thought I was like, I can see what you mean, but I also don't really agree with that. I see exactly where you come from. Yeah. And in a lot of cases that happens, but then in a lot of cases it doesn't. But then on that topic, it kind of you start thinking about it, don't you? Like, well, I don't know, because it's even like, because the biggest thing is, getting men to talk about it's hard, but when you kind of do ask women about it as well, they just the same, don't have a clue about it. And it's like a similar thing when you ask women, the majority of men, how often do you think they get sex? And they're like, 80, 90%. There's actually 10% of men. Literally, only 10% of men, if it's like how many in 20 guys, only 10% of them, and 2 guys would actually be having an active sex life. And I think it's something like one in 4 men are still virgins by the time they're 35. And I was like, what the...
it's a funny one. Like,
it's strange. Like,
that's... I won't go too graphic. Like, mine and my missus' sex life, it is good and it's healthy and everything. And I think... what I'm trying to say is, like, I'm a generous partner. I don't know. I make sure my missus has at least one orgasm every time. Do you know what I mean? And
as a good man should.
I thought that was kind of the norm. But it wasn't until she told me, she's like, no. Like, how many men just go, like, bang, 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 do what they got to do, and then don't take care or pay any attention to, and I was like, well, maybe it's just like, and she's like, no. All my friends say the same. Like, there's so many. I was like, oh, okay. It makes me feel good because, like, it gives me a bit of a big head. But selfish lovers out there, man. You boys need to up your game.
Yeah. Speak to her, see what she likes.
Yeah, if you do come fast, then just plenty of foreplay, mate. You know what I mean? Just make other things, like
start thinking about cars and stuff. Mind you, in my case, that make me quicker.
Mine's motorbikes.
I think about motorbikes. Oh shit!
But so I mean, it's a funny one, mate, on the sort of stats like that. But again, I think that's so, like, what you come back to, what you said about that Fresh and Fit. Like, I think every every individual, or, you know, be it male or female, it shows love. Do you know what I mean? So I think
Yeah,
that's very
they've got all
subjective.
the.
Do you know what I mean? That's an individual thing. I
I
think.
think that's a problem a lot of men face though is
Yeah.
when you say that, because they say that to women on the on those podcasts all the time,
Right.
and they say, you know, when being equal means we're the same, and we're not equal, and they kind of take that a bad way and stuff like that, and they say our how we show affection and emotions is different, but a lot of the women they have on their podcast anyway, which I
Right.
think is a lot of Miami women,
Right.
take it as like a personal attack. But what they're just trying to say is that we have each different ways on how we show love to one another. Women's is different to ours is different to women's, and so that's so it's not an attack on anyone.
So
it's just
Are these American then? Are these?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
yeah,
Okay,
and it's so
I mean,
different, isn't it? Like,
yeah. Their cultures and how they're it's very different to us, aren't we? I think in a lot of ways, but I think it's subjective, but you know, but again, I think if you're in the wrong relationships. I was
just reading the comments on it.
I was going to say,
I'm getting blinded now.
But I don't know, man. It's weird, isn't it? Because like with my missus, what we have now, I've never had that before. You know, like when I had my knee surgery, for instance. You know, I wasn't working as much. I mean, I was potting around in there, the dog food business, but it was, you know, like she supported us and helped us when, you know, I wasn't earning much money because obviously I'm recovering from knee surgery and stuff like that. So, you know, so if one of us is a little bit quiet, like, you know, we sort of like support each other. And I think that's very important in a relationship. And it's not just financially, I mean, you know, emotionally and everything, you know, because, you know, but again, I think that's subjective to the individual, and I think it's hard to say, men love differently to women, and you know, women definitely, you know.
But it's even like I've seen a lot of relationship differences between like mine and Court's relationship and like others, because when it comes to like money, you know, she can come in and say, "I need money for this, and I need money for that." I'm like, "All right," and I just give it to her.
Yeah.
And a lot of relationships I've been around, loads of my friends have been like, "Yeah, all right, like that. I don't remember you owe me that £4.80, and you owe me that 25 quid for that." And I'm thinking, who like if you like that's fine. Everyone's different, but I'm like, who cares? Like, it's £50 for this. It's £100 for that. Stuff for that. You know, I've got to get the dog food stuff like that, and I need to get my hair extensions redone, or I need to get this redone. I'm like, oh yeah. I don't know. But there's a lot of people out there like, oh, well, I want that back, and I'm like, well, what's the point? It's kind of for me at the same time.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like, it's give and take. We're like it in like now, like I said to you before. It's like we go somewhere, and Mrs. like, I'm paying half. You know, we go shopping, we go half. You know, so I've never had that in my life ever. You know, and it's nice. It does take the pressure off you. You know, because it's you know, I mean, there are some relationships where, you know, the male's, you know, the predominant sort of earner and vice versa. You know, some women, you know, like CEOs and have got businesses and stuff like that. So yeah, you know, happy days. But
there are some out there.
Yeah,
there are.
But I think I'm very fortunate now. Like, in our relationship, you know, I'm just speaking as a person. It's like, you know, we just split everything 50-50. You know, she's, you know, so and that's nice, man.
It's just easier.
Yeah, it is nice. Yeah, yeah. You know, it's nice when you, like you said, just go shopping, and it's just like you sort of look at something. Okay, well, you can just divide everything by half. So yeah, and it's just done like So
see, we're at the point now where we're trying to just buy in the evenings, get what we need in the evening, because we keep going to Tesco and we go right. So, and like, you know, you start at one side and you go round, and then like we go back round and stuff like that. And we're always like, right, so we need a meal for Monday, for Tuesday, for Wednesday, stuff like that. Yeah. And before now, I'm looking down, we're 80 quid up, and all there is Cadbury's chocolate and fucking donuts and drinks. And I'm like, how many meals have we got for the week? Like, one. Fuck it.
What was that they're saying? Like, oh, let's go to B&M to get a couple of bits, like, you know, it was like 110 quid on absolute shit. Like, it's just coming up with, I don't know, some grass seed, like,
grass.
Honestly, but yeah, my lawn's fucked, mate. My garden's knackered. So yeah, we bought like, we went to Costco the other day. Like, I just bought like, oh no, it was Costco. Costco I got the grass seed from.
Yeah,
like just like literally like a load of meat, sausages, and that, and it's just like spent 100 quid on absolute shit, mate. But
that's a sort of do all the time. Every time I go shopping, going in, what do we need? Rice. Okay, and I come back 2 bags out. What'd you get? Like, rice, chocolate bars, dog treats, new car. But yeah, no. Going back anyway, one of the biggest problems I suppose we're seeing, especially on like the video comments and that, because guys, whenever you lot comment, there's a lot we don't even see. So there's a lot of negative comments that we're probably never going to see because there's too many of them. But feel free.
What's that, TikTok or
on any videos from the podcast. It would be that right. TikTok. YouTube's been right, but there's loads on TikTok because there's a lot of keyboard warriors on TikTok. Probably a lot of you watching now that are keyboard warriors, to be honest. and like loads all the time. The problem we keep facing, and if any of you women are watching right now, try to answer because it's more aimed towards women only because a lot of the guys messaging like, yeah, I understand that stuff like that. It happens to women too. I get that. But yeah, this needs to be spoke about and so on. And all the comments that I keep seeing from women, it's just like so defensive and on the attack for no reason. And it's like, you say men's mental health needs to be spoken about because they're not getting the help. And they're commenting, well, what about the women? And I'm like, but there's so much in place for females, like that there's not for men. And one thing like that is I know 4 females in my life that are currently suffering from depression. And I spoke to them and asked them, how did they start talking to someone? What help did they go through? And where, and how did it stem from there? And they said, I spoke to this and that. They listened to me. I understand that. Oh, I got medication. I got this. I got that. They called me. I didn't have to call around or anyone. And all the guys I speak to, I wasn't taken seriously. I was almost kind of laughed at, said, oh, well, you're a big, strong man. No one would think that you'd be upset about that, and stuff like that. I never got medication. I had to keep getting phone. I had to keep doing phone calls and chasing people and stuff like that. And obviously this has probably happened to women as well. But from what I'm hearing, around society, social media, and from personal experiences, they all kind of think females get more help professionally, whereas a lot of men don't at all. And even from my experience. I said last year when I was going through therapy and stuff like that, I said I drove home really distraught one evening because the psychiatrist and the therapist, the females I was speaking to, took me for an absolute joke. And a lot of women were commenting on there saying, no, this would never happen. I actually have a friend of a friend's sister's auntie's cousin who's a friend with a psychiatrist.
Oh, My cousin's sister's dog.
The cousin's dogs.
Twice removed from them.
It was like, and she said it, and I was like, "Oh right, so you know everything, dear." But no, personally, that is, and from what a lot of the guys are commenting in, saying exactly, agreeing with what I said, my experience. Well, it goes, they just took me for a joke. They then just handed me like a piece of paper with like 5 scribbled numbers down. I'll call one of these. If you're suffering from mental health on that kind of severe level, you're not gonna have the time to go chasing these numbers, are you? This is what people don't understand. Like it's.
Well, mate. This is it, isn't it? And I think like with the calm thing, I think that's a great idea that they have that line which is open like sort of I think 5 to midnight every night. Yeah, because it's so hard now to just be able to pick up the phone and just call in and it's like I've been engaging with people on TikTok, bless them. And, and I just said, drop me a DM. And mate, I was literally talking to about 3 different people last night, just on TikTok. How are you? What's going on? And I was like, look, you don't have to tell me anything. What just whether you just want to like, how are you? I'm not good. And I was like, look, do you mind me asking what's happened? And and I said, but look, if you don't want to talk about it, so it's I think just having that, even a stranger, like I was engaging with 3 people last night on TikTok. Yeah, never met them before in my life. Just started following me. And just to be able to do that for someone, just to be on the other end of that message,
to help someone, because they only need to be listened to just the once, and it can make all the difference in their life and stuff like that. But like, I'm not trying to attack women at all, even though I keep saying it. But from the comments, literally, from the comments we're getting as well, women just keep disregarding it. They don't want to talk about it. What they're concentrating on is like the title of the video.
Yeah,
like they're reading that and going, you're attacking women. It's like, no. I'm asking, why are women doing this? Because this is happening with men and stuff like that. Why do they take men for granted? we don't take men for granted. You're just a woman hater and stuff like that. And I'm like, and this is why. Like this is.
But I think obviously as we we were just looking at a minute ago, weren't we? Is where they're only shorts, like snippets of a 2-hour podcast,
Yeah.
you know, and then obviously they're going from the sort of the the title of the clip, and they're just commenting on what they're seeing.
Yeah, you can't upload a 2-hour video, otherwise we would.
It's being taken out of context, isn't it? You know, so it's kind of like 6 and a half dozen other, isn't it? Because it does frustrate me because I've seen a lot of your comments, and you're like, just go and watch the full video before you comment. You know,
it's even hashtagged in there. Watch full video, and stuff like that.
Whereas I think it is hard because I think I had a couple of random comments on one of the posts I put up as well because it is when you use that child as a weapon. That's a form of child abuse as far as I'm concerned. And I have spoken to social services about a former partner of mine because that's what I'm going through. And it's child abuse as far as I'm concerned. It's emotional manipulation.
100%.
A child just doesn't turn around. If you, like I said, if you've got a genuine parent who just wants to be there for their kids, and the ex, it's not about you guys. I mean, it's not about me. It's not about your ex-partner or you or your ex-partner. It's about them children. And I think, like I said, the strongest females that I remember sort of growing up with always had their shit together. It seemed that they had that father or their dad in their life, so you kind of know that someone's got your back. And as long as
I don't know. Oh my god, Jan, you look so different. I haven't seen you in years. You look so different. I feel like, sorry, I don't. Hello, I don't actually know who it is. I'm sorry, I can't. There's the other screen. People watching on YouTube. We're live on TikTok as well on the device further back. So sorry, I can't actually see the name from here. But private message me anyway. Give me a private message, and I'll reply to you in a bit. I think I must need glasses because I can't see.
Mate, I've got
my eyesight's getting worse.
Okay.
My eyesight's getting so bad now. So
okay, but, I think we need to do it where we can have that like a lot closer. So we can, like, engage.
See, this is the problem with TikTok is whenever you do it from a phone, because you have a laptop on YouTube, you do it on the phone, and it's I'll message you. Okay, give me a message. No worries. But what was I was going to say something as well? Yeah, a comment I saw yesterday, which actually infuriated me, but then I could see why people were saying it because of basically the topic we're talking about.
Yeah.
And they said men kill people and women kill society. And I heard that and I was like, wow, that's a bit strong towards women, isn't it? Like you can't really be saying stuff like that. And but then they were saying, because of like kind of the trans movement and all of that stuff, which is mainly initiated by women, and all the other stuff that we've spoken about throughout most of the kind of shows we've done and stuff. I was like, right, I can see why people are thinking it. And it blew my, it's a weird statement, but it blew my mind. It was one of them,
that's a thinker. That's a bit.
I've got to do more research on it. But if any of you watching, go on, type that in YouTube. It should come up with the video. But they do go on the podcast. They go into detail about it.
I need more context on that.
Yeah, when you listen to it, it's weird because they go on about like women winning the majority of court cases that we spoke about and stuff like that. Kind of more female than male teachers in society. So the majority of kids are being raised by femininity in a sense and stuff like that. And that's where
I went to Western Park, mate. And I remember there literally being 2 female teachers. That's the way. Yeah, I remember you saying that about that before. Like you said, being raised by predominantly. And I thought, where did you go? Where did you go?
I went to Woodlands.
Right, yeah.
Which was mixed.
Because I remember one
shit school.
Fucking hell, mate. I remember Mrs. Hughes, bless her, she was a French teacher. She had a breakdown because I was in like F4 because I was never really sort of big on school, and it wasn't I couldn't do it. It's just I just didn't want to be there because I worked for my brother since I was like 11, 12 years old.
Yeah.
So once I got earning money, I thought to myself, well, at that time, I was doing plastering and stuff. So I was labouring for my brother, and I thought, well, this is it. I want to be a plasterer. I don't need to be at school. So when I went to senior school, I was just, I was like, well, I'd rather be earning money, you know. And
Oh,
it got to
yeah.
the point where they were just like, do you know what? I mean, by the end of, I think, well, sort of halfway through year 11, I think I was going to school like 3 days a week and then working 2, or vice versa. I can't
John, that
remember.
was exactly the same as me, to be
But
fair.
yeah, but again, mate, like I said, we only had one female teacher at the beginning of the year, and yeah. Oh yeah, she got terrible. It was
She got terrorised.
what it was is a cheese and pickle sandwich got thrown at her. One of my mates brought it off on the other lads. His mum was doing a sandwich shop up in Pin, and his sandwiches were amazing. And so what he used to do was he would sell his sandwiches for like fags. You know, I think it was like 20p a fag, whatever back then. So he'd sell his sandwiches every day. So when Delboy used to come in, it was like a fucking bidding war, mate, for sandwiches. You know, like everyone was like, oh. And
Peanut butter and jelly.
yeah, mate, I can't remember who it was. I think my mate Kev bought the sandwich off, and he put it in his blazer pocket, and it was in French class, and she was like, give it here. And he went, no, give it here, and he went, fucking, and he like threw it, but it come out the wrapper and fucking smacked her cheese and pickle all around, and that, bless her. So yeah, so she, but that again, you know, bless her. I mean, it was funny, but yeah, but terrible, really. But when you're at school, it's like,
getting into schools though, it wasn't even a subject I thought of speaking about, but I saw a rap video. I see. At some point, guys, we'll actually get it where we can play this during while we're filming. But no, I saw a rap video, and he was saying, you know, like, I know what photosynthesis is, but I didn't know I wasn't taught how to do taxes. You know, stuff like that. I know a bit more about algebra and stuff like this, and Newton's third law and things like that. It's like, but I don't know how to house myself, look after myself, like, and all this stuff. And the more I was thinking about it, I was like, yeah, like, I almost got to the point between by the kind of the last year of school where, I mean, the last year and a half, I was never really there. I was, like I say, bunking loads of classes and just disappearing, cutting the fence, jumping over, going and playing football, going to McDonald's instead and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's because it got to the last bit of school where you think that you're not learning anything. Schools now, this is my theory, they are just out there to create yes men. They want, you know, only what you're not allowed to speak above people. There's only one right answer. Bullshit. There's loads of many true answers to different subjects. And they go on to say, like, you know, you respect your elders, but you don't talk over them and you don't counteract their argument. You know, you're not allowed to argue against anyone. But like, the whole point of society is you argue about your beliefs and disbeliefs and stuff like that. Otherwise, the world would be such a boring place to live. But it's a weird thing. Like I left school and I didn't know what taxes were, and there was all of this. And I mean, parents going, well, you need, if you're self-employed now, you know, stuff like that, you need to do this for tax, and you need to do that, and you need to do that. And I was like, what's that? And people look at you like I do now. At the younger generation, I don't know what that is, and I think, hey, you idiot. And then I'd sit there, hang on a minute, no, because how was you an idiot? You was never taught it. You wasn't taught how to look after yourself, how the world actually functions. And I don't get why that's not taught in schools. Taught how to be a businessman, taught how to, you know, how money works and things like that. It's ridiculous. They just literally are just creating good workers to go into a company and just do as they're told.
Well, yeah, mate. I mean, that's it, isn't it? I think it is hard because, especially in like state schools or whatever, you know, public school, whatever you want to call it, where we kind of went to. Like I went to Western Park, you know, which is, I think it's not. I mean, it's Oasis Academy or whatever it is now, and it's weird because, like you said, they don't. I think in schools like that where, you know, there's a lot of like, you know, behavioural issues and stuff like that with children, you know, I think teachers deserve so much more fucking praise than they get because they get a basic salary. And I think with some schools like that, not all schools, but, you know, where we went to West, it was an all boys school, and it was, you know, the teachers got terrorised, mate. You know what I mean? It was just like there was no respect there. Nobody really wanted to be there. You know, you had lads from all different areas, so there was fights every day. You know, or every other day at least. You know, and it's hard. You know, and then teachers are trying to, you know, when they're in a school like that where it's just right, this is the curriculum. That's, you know, they don't deviate from it, like you said. And, you know, I think it's school dependent because there are some schools where, you know, a bit more funding or what, you know, whatever, and you know, the education, you know, is a higher level. So I think it's a hard one. Yeah, that's a tricky one because I think teachers, bless them, I mean, I suppose it's like you got to do the best of what you got. But mate, you're 100% right. And when there should be more emphasis on life after. It's just like, what's the circumference of this? Well, you don't need to learn that shit. You need practical life. And it was the same when we left the army. There's nothing gearing lads, especially lads that have been in since boy soldiers. Done 20 odd years. You're so institutionalized in the army that some lads haven't got a fucking clue what it means to get out, get a job, pay your taxes, or if you want to go self-employed, and then you've got to get all your gateway and get passwords and logging into that and doing your self-assessment and that. It's like, it's a fucking minefield, and no one, there should be more emphasis, like you said, on practical life skills outside, especially dads that are like, you're not being able to walk into a job and, or what about, like ISAs or, tax-free ISAs and stuff like that. We can put a little bit of money away and get on the property ladder and stuff like that.
Yeah. But any kids that look buy houses now, fucked.
Yeah, fucked, mate. Yeah. But again, I think that's growing up. We lived in a council estate, lived in a council house. Nothing wrong with that. But I remember my mum never had a job, and she was never motivated. So I suppose it's down to the individual, but there is a certain amount of, like I said, being a product of your own environment. But again, growing up, it just made me want more from life. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think that's why when I started working for my brother and my brother's mate from such, 11, 12 years old, and back then, fucking hell, bags of cement were like 50 kilos. They weren't the 25 ones now, mate. They were fucking full, So by the time I was like 12, 13, I could keep two of the fastest plasterers in the fucking business going. So I'm on fucking mixers, back then the drill wasn't even invented. So I was knocking up fucking hardcore and that in a bathtub with a shovel, like working my bollocks off, mate. But, and I remember like my sister, I think for me growing up, because, I had a bit of a shitty upbringing and stuff like that. Like my release I used to lose went into my own little world when I was watching films and stuff, so I was a massive movie fucking love my films, man. And I remember back then it was just VHS, like that's so fucking old. So, and I remember buying like Toy Story on VHS and other films, and I'd work and I was getting £15 a day, and I'd work my fucking bollocks off for that, you know what I mean? But it didn't matter, because £15 a day when you're that age, it was like I thought I was a millionaire, and I could afford these little things that I wanted, and so it installed that work ethic in me that I'd never seen, it wasn't sort of taught to me by my mum. I said I was fortunate when I was a lot younger that my older brother was still at home, so seeing what he had and what his mate Lee had, he had like the Helly Hansen jackets and the fucking Rover Vitesse was like the dog's bollocks car back then, and Big Lee had one of them, and do you remember like the Technic stack of fucking stereos, and the big Jamo speakers and shit. And I'm like, fuck, mate, if you can get all this from plastering, then sign me up. This is me. Fuck school. Some of that, please. Yeah, mate, that's it. I'm going to be a plasterer. But it did, and mate, I remember we did this job once, and I was probably like 13, 14, and we got there at 7 in the morning, and we float and set the extension, and then we screeded it. And I just remember, like, I was fucked, mate. I was still scraping around for sand at like, I think 8:30, 9 o'clock at night on the mixer. I was like 13, 14 years old. I remember getting in the bath when my brother had moved out with his missus at the time, and he'd come back because he used to, like, I was going to see my brother on the weekend, whatever. And mate, I got in the bath. My brother had to literally lift me out of it because I was that fucked. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? But like, that's not. I don't look at that as a negative thing. Like, I think it's just you need that now. Like, people are too fucking, especially not all kids, but a lot of kids. No kids are going to get out of that young now. Go and get a fucking job, cash in hand and work your bollocks off like that, or just want everything now, or they just don't want fuck all at all. Do you know what I mean? They're happy to just.
It's a hard one, because this on way back earlier, I had my brother in the car, and I was talking to him about it, and people might get angry, but he was saying, my friends don't want to do this and do that. And I said, I'm sorry to say, man, but your generation, I goes, is just lazy fuckers. Because you don't get up in time, my alarm's, I forgot to put my alarm on and shit like that. Bullshit, my alarm's always worked. Exactly. What, yours doesn't? Like, you know what I mean? They don't do that. They don't want to go and get a job. They don't want to work and stuff like that. I mean, I can see it at the same time, because, society's, like, fucked at the moment. Everything's so expensive. They're at the point where they're like, why bother? Because I'm not going to get... But even still, like, from like when I was like homeless and stuff like that from my missus and all that shit, it just pushed me so much harder I'd be working my day job, and then I had 2, 3 other side hustles that I was doing just to get money. Even one was only making like another £30 a week, but I'd
But
do,
mate,
like
exactly,
every literally. What was it? Asda, every little helps or whatever.
exactly,
but,
mate. Yeah, no, I remember the same thing. I was fucking about 11 or 12, and again, like say about the movies and stuff, and I wanted to get a VCR, but I couldn't afford one. And I remember my sister had about fucking 3 or 4 dogs, big pit bulls and staffies, bless them, and down the bottom of the garden, and they had like a big pen. And my sister, and it was second hand as well, cheeky fucker, right? So honestly, it was £5 a week, and I used to go down and clean all the shit up. I'd put the dogs away, clean all the shit up, bleach it, scrub it all off because it was like a patio sort of slabs. Bleach them all, fucking rinse them all down, and I did that for £5, mate. I must have done it for about a fucking year. Like for £5 a week to pay a second-hand fucking VCR off. Do you know what I mean? But again, it all boils down to if you want it that bad, man, you got to work for it. And I know times are different, and it is hard now. Like, I mean, back in my day, you could sort of like ring up anyone, from Marriott, and oh mate, yeah, oh my uncle's got a bit of cash now, but and you could just jump on and do bits and pieces. Right? I mean, it's very different now, But
there's so many laws in place now.
But I mean, I think it all still stems back to like if your why, like you said before, if your why is strong enough, and you'll just fucking find a way, and you'll get it done, and it's like now. I mean, I know it's harder, but there are little avenues and little side hustle. Everyone's got a side hustle now. You look at like stuff on like FacePay and on stuff like that, and everyone's so aware of what things are worth now. Sometimes you could pick up a little bargain, but you can't. It's like when we were locked down. Remember how much fucking weights were? I remember trying to get some dumbbells and shit. It's worth more than crack. You know what I mean? Like,
it's even like the fuel crisis though.
Oh,
1.2 and 1.4 up to 1.6 litre engines.
Yeah.
Little shitty Corsas and Fiestas, stuff like that. They were like double the price. You could go buy one for like a 2004 Corsa for about £500.
There's no such.
People were selling them for like £2,000, and they were selling.
Wait, there's no such thing as a cheap runaround anymore, is there? Like you said, we could grab one and do it. Yeah.
And at that time, I was sat there with a fucking 3 litre V6 turbo guzzling thing. Shit, I need one of them.
Oh, mate. No, it's that's what I've. When you see like American stuff and that, and I think with their, you see the state of some of their cars because they don't have MOT system out there, do they? So it's like you insure the vehicle, but it could be an absolute fucking death trap or piece of shit on its last legs because there's no, the MOT system and stuff like that. But cause sometimes you think, oh man, if that was over here, okay, it might be a little bit dangerous, but at least you could actually get like a cheap runaround or something like that.
But that's the difference now. It's like I don't know what's going on, but it's like the government just hates us in the way that they're stopping everything. It's even like when I was working for Rolls Royce, I joined on with Rolls Royce as under my own company name. So I was a self-employed mechanic,
right?
Like leased by Rolls Royce, whatever, working on their behalf on their cars and stuff like that. Back when I was a mechanic. And I was on I can't remember how much money I was on now. It was ridiculous, over like near £20 an hour, like fucking doing shit like that. And like loads of overtime and all this stuff. And then that IR35 law come into play, which basically just stopped the majority of people being self-employed like that. Yeah. So then I had to go on the books and stuff like that. I didn't get holiday pay or anything like that, but then they took my tax and stuff like that. And people kept saying, like, oh, what, you moaning because you got to pay tax now? And it's like, we weren't paying tax, but we could claim back on like uniform and fuel, like loads of things, so we didn't pay as much. But then these idiots were forgetting that we didn't get like 30 days paid holiday. So when they had like Rolls Royce used to have a lot of like 2-week shutdowns. They had like maybe 3-4 of them a year. So there'd be for 2 weeks where I didn't earn nothing. If I hadn't saved for those 2 weeks off, and when you're paying like £1,000 a month rent and stuff like that, like that's £500 between those 2 weeks you need to find, and stuff like that. It got ridiculous, and that's why I had to leave in the end because I just couldn't afford to work there.
Yeah. This is a weird one. I've never like NHS staff and all sorts of people. I mean, I know it goes all across, all across the board, but I noticed it more in the NHS where, 2020 or whatever it was. We're all out on the doorstep. We're fucking clapping them and all that shit.
Yeah.
Well, not shit, but but then now fast forward like 2-3 years. They're being held as fucking, greedy bastards for wanting a 4% pay rise. But I've seen it so many times where, more so when my partner, she used to work as a phlebotomist at the hospital, they won't pay these nurses and doctors extra wages, but they'll fucking bring in agency staff who are fucking getting paid so much more than the nurses and these poor fuckers that are struggling there. Well, how the fuck does that work then? If the NHS is on its ass, why the fuck are they bringing agency?
There's even like substitute teachers would be on like £200 a day, and you think, why don't you just hire another teacher? Oh, we can't afford to. But then how the fuck are you paying them £200 a day then? Exactly. They got to drive an hour from where they live as a substitute teacher.
Yeah. And
I don't get it.
And the fucking, the nurses, God bless them, and staff, all adults, they've got to pay for their own fucking parking and stuff. That's fucking criminal, mate. God. That's disgusting, man. Like, they should get free parking as a fucking minimum. Do you know what I mean? Like, I saw that dispatchers thing. I think it was on Channel 4, and they sort of cameraed up this paramedic.
Yeah.
Fucking horrendous, mate. Like, when they bring a patient into the hospital, and they have to sign them over to the hospital.
Yeah.
Some of these guys are waiting 3 or 4 hours just to get a patient signed in, so and you go outside and there's just fucking backed up ambulances, and then there was one guy, old boy bless him, he's on a bed, and I mean there was a lot of elderly people just fucking lined up along this corridor, slumped against the fucking wall. And one of them was having a fucking stroke for the 3 hours, and so that whole time he's not saying anything because he was having a fucking stroke.
Yeah,
and they said, "Oh, we're going and we're checking on him," and you just think that's. I mean, I think it was up in Yorkshire, somewhere like that. This was, but you just sort of think, "Fucking hell, mate." Something's got to change, man. We can't be. There was one old girl, bless her. She had an alarm thing. Her alarm went off, and they said the normal response time was, I think, 18 minutes max or something like that. I think it might have been shorter, but. Fucking 2 hours later, they got to her, and she'd fallen over in the street, mate. It was -4 outside and snowing, and I mean, all she had was a nightie on and some slippers, and she was laid in the fucking street, mate. But she pulled the alarm.
Yeah.
4 hours she was laid there. How the fuck she didn't die of hypothermia?
Yeah, that's. Fucking,
do you know what I mean? It's fucking. Oh, mate, it killed me. Watch it. Yeah. But it's not fair, mate. It should be fucking happening. And the police, mate. The police are fucking undermanned. The country's on its fucking ass.
The thing is, the police are undermanned, but then you can't apply for them at the moment. There's no, because I had a look while I was researching the other day. There's no job roles, and they go, we need more police, and I'm like, well, fucking hire more. But they don't, and that's the funny thing, because I get it. Yes, hospitals get busy in certain aspects, but when they kept saying, but they can't get to this person, like you said, stuck in ambulance, stuff like that, because we're so busy. I've been in hospital because I've got chronic back pain and some other issues and stuff. I have to keep getting checked up, and X-rays and MRIs and these things, and it's fucking boring.
I've got fucking MRIs in a minute.
Yeah, but I keep going in there, and they're like, "Oh, I'm so busy" and stuff like that. And even you walk around, and they're all in the tea room, fucking talking, and you sat there for about 20 minutes in a waiting room, just listening to them have a chat. They're not on lunch break. They're just sat there fucking talking. You think, go and fucking do your job. This is what I don't understand. And if any of you are watching and you do work, then please fucking, for me personally, tell me what you do. Because even when my nan was dying on her deathbed, I remember she started choking. It was coughing up blood. It's fucking horrible. And I went in the room to go get help, and I went into the family waiting room where you could get tea, sitting there as you're waiting and stuff like that. They're all in there, asleep, talking, having a sleep and shit like that. Boy, my nan was sat there, fucking choking to death, and I'd wake the lady up and go, she's choking. Okay, sorry, yeah, sorry. And they all quickly got up and quickly got out of there because they realised, the fuck, shit, oh, mate, angers me.
Mate, no, but in that situation, I mean, fuck me, but it was, but then you just, I don't know, it's hard, isn't it? Because you think they could have done a fucking 20-hour shift or something. Do you know what I mean?
That's the thing, because there are some that do.
Yeah. Look, I mean, it's no excuse. If your nan's fucking choking on blood, someone should have been there for her. But it's just strange how many times you catch them. No excuse for that, mate. 100%. It was without being, this is probably going to spark a fucking God knows what, but
yes,
it was when COVID was, stay away from the hospitals. We're fucking, mate. I fucked my finger up and I went up to General Hospital and it was like a fucking ghost town, mate. But we were on the news. We were told that fuck me, you can't come in here with fucking
the bodies outside,
there's bodies everywhere and that. Mate, I went there. It was fucking not a soul there. Do you know what I mean? And my mate worked up there. Funny enough, I won't say his name, but I literally had this conversation about 3 or 4 days ago. I went down and walked down the shore. he literally just done a shift and come back, and he said, "So mate, it was fucking dead there." Do you know what I mean? It was no one there.
So
So I don't know, mate. I'm
that's
not a conspiracy theorist, but it's
so. I suppose I am in a sense, but everything I said about COVID years ago has come true. Fucking anyone who follows me on Facebook, go through all my old posts from 2020, 2021. All the shit I predicted has actually come to pass. And I feel like a fucking god. I don't care. Like I was sat there, I'm going,
Yeah.
and I even said to my family that I was right, and they're looking at me going, yeah, but no, but like obviously with that, I was like, no, I was right. You were wrong, even though you were shitting on me, slamming me for what I was saying, like saying the hospital was a lie and shit. Because it was a pandemic. But did you see a pandemic?
No,
There wasn't bodies laying on the street, people dropping dead.
This is what I'm saying. Obviously, what was it, Nick Clegg? Whatever it was, he got caught, didn't he? When they said there's this new variant, and there was obviously all the conversations have now been leaked where it was like, oh, we'll just make up this new variant of COVID to keep. And I don't know why, because at that point it was like,
something more was going on than
mate,
what
I think, to be honest, buddy, I think there is something, because they 100 odd fucking 180,000 people they said died because you could
where's the
cemeteries
bodies,
you couldn't where are they?
Where's
they
all
built
the
all these fucking hospitals all around London, and the squaddies were there and doing this, that, and the other. Never got fucking used, never got touched, and I think they're very, flu kills, unfortunately, bless them, like a lot of fucking elderly people every year. I mean, there's no flu, it just, I think they were very clever in their wording. It was like, well, there were some, the deaths that were, they died with COVID. They may have had COVID, but they didn't die from COVID. Do you know what I mean? And I think there was, like I said, I just, there's no way. I mean, 100,000 deaths, mate. Bullshit. There's no, we just won't be able to cope with that. Where.
But this is the thing. I remember sitting there with my family, especially and going, they're making up these numbers. And I kid you not, they sat there and went, "Oh my god, you're fucking such a conspiracy theorist. Shut up, you don't know what you're talking about. Why would they do that? Why would the government do that?" And I said all these things, and then it come out on the news, didn't it? Yeah, so the numbers ain't correct. It's if you had it in the last 30 days and then fucking some old man went out and got ran over, they put it down as COVID.
Yeah.
He didn't die from COVID, but because he had it 20 days prior, tested, that was just testing positive, or on the Trace app, he got put down as death from COVID. So then what I said was true, and yet no one wanted to admit I was right about what I said.
Yeah. I mean, it was. I do remember thinking when the numbers were going up and up and up, you think, come on, man, we're there's you just wouldn't be able to cope with it. Especially when they reduced numbers down for funerals and stuff like that. You just couldn't. They wouldn't.
Do you know what? For me, it was. I actually struggled with it because there was a lot of people in my life I saw as role models, and after seeing how much they bitched to the government and to COVID, I now don't see them as role models. Now I see them as weak fucking.
Yeah,
it sounds horrible, but it's like I looked up to these people and seeing them going, "Oh my god, we have to stay inside. Oh, I better go get all the jabs." And I was sat there going, "No," I was like, "No fucking way." I was like, "The what?" So, a variant that mutates in like a year, they've been able to, even though they can't cure cancer after all these years, in a year they was able to quickly make up a vaccine out of thin air.
This is it. I must admit, brother, I was just I didn't have the vaccine because
no, I haven't.
I've got friends that had it and they've got fucking like it's brought out all sorts of fucking psoriasis and shit on their hands and that.
So that's a lot.
Mate,
a lot heart problems also.
And I just don't think for me, I mean. My missus always says the same thing. She goes, all the shit you survived through in Afghan and Iraq and all these places. She goes, it'd be like a fucking bee sting or a fucking COVID jab that would have killed you. Do you know what I mean? And it would have.
That's a good point.
So, to be fair, for me personally, mate, it was like we were really, really fucking ill at the beginning of 2020. Before this was right before it even came out on the news. This was like in the January, the February 2020. So then it all kicked off in the March and April. But for me, mate, I never get ill. Never get ill. I mean, I'll go down hard for a couple of days and then that's it, mate. Nothing ever. I can shake anything in 3 or 4 days max. I was wiped out for about a week. Do you know what I mean? And I mean, I never lost the taste or the sense of smell.
I did. Did you?
See, so I was, but my missus, bless her, she was fucking really poorly for about 3 weeks. Whereas, like I said, I was ill for about a week, so I knew it was something serious because I was fucked, But and then it all came out, and we're like, oh, okay, I think we've had this. But to be fair, mate, I thought I had suspicions that I might have had it. Like, when was it? Like 2020. I think. I mean, no, not last year, year before. And I just did a test and I was clear. So I took it seriously because. As serious as you can. I mean, I knew there was something that I didn't want. I don't know. It's hard because I knew one person that passed away from it. Bless him. Do you know what I mean? He, fucking big, strong dude. But unfortunately, him and his missus got it at the same time, and she was fine. So I think if you had a genetic thing in you that maybe you couldn't fight it, I don't know. But
it's always like survival of the fittest.
They were saying they're saying different blood groups, weren't it? Were affected different by. I think I'm O positive, but I think A types were affected by a lot worse. So and I do, mate. I'm not trying to make it. There are I know people lost loved ones. I mean, and elderly people. Mate, my heart goes out to you. I'm not trying to disprove anything like that.
No, but that's what makes it worse. That all of that happened. When people would, where loved ones had died, and then they stopped people from going to their funerals. Even Liz had to sit there where Philip died on her own.
Exactly, mate. Yeah,
and then for then Boris Johnson to have had all these parties, and this is the biggest problem. How can you sit there? So this is to everyone watching at home. How can you sit there? One, even try to argue against what we're saying right now. I will say this, and to try and believe him when the people who had all the information on how dangerous it was chose to ignore it. Is that not the biggest red flag ever? They were the ones that had all the information before anyone else.
Exactly. Yeah.
They chose to ignore it and blew it off like it was nothing, because probably, obviously, it was nothing. And then why telling the rest of the world how dangerous it was, why they were off partying, drinks and stuff like that. And people were still going, oh, well, it's okay, I have my mask and I'll keep protecting myself. And you think, you need to wake up. A lot of people need to wake up. It's what like Andrew Tate goes on about the Matrix and stuff like that. Sounds a little bit ridiculous, but you see it happening. You do. These people that are just kind of like stuck in a simulation and they just don't know. You're trying to like wake them up. Like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Think about this, and they don't want to. They're like, oh no, I'll just listen to what they say. And you're like, oh,
I think it's a funny one. Isn't it? I think one of the again, I don't know if there's any truth in it. I don't know, but one of the most plausible things, sort of for me, I remember this guy. He was like a Wall Street trader or something. Like that. I forget where he was from, and he said like because I mean, there's been documented outbreaks of like 2018 from COVID because in China already. Yeah. So whether it's a man-made disease, I think and then it did. There was a leak back in 2018, and they had this shit. So, and he was saying like Trump pushed. He said it's kind of weird because you look at like Trump pushed China into this trade deal that like lost them fucking shitloads of money. They weren't happy with it. Trump didn't give a shit, pushed him into this deal, and all of a sudden. Now look what happened, and this fucking virus or whatever comes over from China, fucks half of Western Europe and all that, and American, all of a sudden, and then who's everyone buying all the fucking, so the China stock went down, stuff like that. Then we turn around, well, who are we buying the mask from? Who are we buying all from fucking China?
This is what people didn't realise. So their
the whole rest up. So fucking the rest of the world economy went down, including America, and China's went fucking booming. So I don't know. For me, that was one of the. When I heard it, I was like, fuck
they got it from eating bat soup.
Yeah, bullshit, mate.
Come on, mate.
It's a man-made fucking virus.
Serious,
They said because it got leaked before and there was a fucking outbreak in 2018. So
there's even a movie about it years ago.
On Netflix. Like, yeah. And they would literally say, a fucking movie on Netflix about it. So, I don't know, mate. That kind of struck a chord with me because I'm like, well, there may be some truth. I don't know.
I think so. Again, one of the biggest things for me is, like, personally, that even ticks me off to this day, is you had even celebrities shaming people like us, going, "You're a schmuck for not having the vaccine. No, screw your freedom. People like this should be arrested and put in prison." And they've done all of this, and yet now in the last statistics at the end of 2022, and they still stand the correct and the same in 2023, is. The vaccine is now, the first ones that come out are now down to something like 22% effective. So you have to keep getting boosters. Now it's gone to like you have to get boosters every 6 months, and this is every year to try and keep it effective. And I said this all in the past. It goes, if it's not, if the first 1 and 2 is not effective, you're going to keep plugging yourself with this shit until it magically becomes effective. And the thing is, your body always tells you what's wrong with you. You need to listen to your body. Your body will build natural immunity to majority of things in life. And they even stated on a medical research team in America again that a lot of the people, if they do get a more severe case and they're jabbed, they're more likely to die than unjabbed because majority of the unjabbed have now built up natural immunity where these people got jabs before their body could actually learn how to fight it. And now we're living now where more people who are vaccinated have died from COVID than unvaccinated people. That's a true fact and statistic on Google. Go search it up. That is and that come out just towards the end of 2022. I even again shared this to my family, and they were in a bit of disbelief. They went, "No," and I was like, "Yes." I goes, "The majority of people that died from COVID are vaccinated people." And where's our apology? Where's the public apology from everyone that was calling us liars and conspiracy theorists? Because do you know what, fuckers? We was right the whole time. We need an apology. We deserve one.
Fair one, mate. Yeah, no, mate. I said I looked into it to that. Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. It's fucking weird, isn't it? It's like that track and trace thing. That cost fucking billions, 80 billion or something, wasn't it? That tracking to roll that out, it was billions, mate. And you think we're fucked, mate. We're like trillions of pounds in debt. You know, it's just
we're screwed.
Yeah, it's going to take. I mean,
our workplace even told us to turn that off. It got that ridiculous that we had no workforce. Because it's you could have literally. The thing is even silly. Like you could have driven past someone at close proximity, and then it flagged you, saying you may have been in contact, and then you couldn't work and stuff like that. And now, obviously, workplaces ignore it. It's not even a thing now, and it's weird, isn't it, how quiet it is about it all now.
Yeah, it's. I don't know, mate. I mean, you remember, like, you know, when COVID was going on, and remember the fucking summer we had that year, mate, and like how much the world just fucking reset itself, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I remember seeing we went to Venice, and then I remember seeing like the fucking, you know, well, you've been there as well, you know,
Venice,
and just seeing the fucking canals, mate. Like, did you see that how clear they were?
Yeah.
Like during COVID, and fucking dolphins will come back off the south, fucking around here. You know, it's just the world
needed it. Didn't
it?
Like,
mate, just needed to breathe, man. And then and now it's just we're fucked again. And it's just
gone back. I even said the way they keep saying they're trying to fight climate change and stuff like that. I said one good way to fight it is on Sundays ban transportation. Like, I know that's harder, it's easier said than done, obviously, but if they just everyone could come together and every day you stop doing it, it would counteract a lot of the damage. But I mean, definitely, I don't know much about that, but you know,
but like growing up, like remember Sundays were like, you know, like you used to go somewhere and it was fucking dead everywhere, man. You know, because everyone just chilled on a Sunday and was like, whereas now you're going to it and it's fucking rammed everywhere. Like it's just the world's just fucking flipped on its head, mate. I mean. To be fair, like, I'm just like, you know, fucking, missus are quite like antisocial anyway. We just keep ourselves to ourselves, you know. Like, you know, I'm not a fucking you know what I mean? But it's like, when people have times to flatten, but personally, it was just it's just an excuse to stay away from fucking doing the ticks anyway. So for me, it was for me and my partner, just nothing really kind of changed. I mean, the only thing I was doing, and I mean, I used to take my girls out because I thought none of my girls cooped up at fucking home all day. You know, doing enough. So we'd go out for a little walk, just like an hour in the morning. But I'm in contact with nobody else. You know what I mean? I could drive there, park up. We'd go for a walk. You know, stay away, and then they go in, I'll go home, you know, and that was kind of my routine.
The police actually tried finding me. I got pulled over.
Oh shit!
I was going down to anyone who's watching is from Southampton, Western Shore. Yeah. Because we had like a new puppy. I was walking the dog. He had his jab stuff like that. Needed to walk him, and that's a Rottweiler. Needs to go out. Yeah. And I used to take him down there to try to get him some fresh air because it was so unfair on keeping an animal that stuck inside. And the police tried having a go at me. And they goes, "Oh, you're not supposed to be doing this." I said, "I don't give a fuck." I goes, "I'm not keeping him cooped up at home." I was like, "We understand what's going on." I goes, "He doesn't." I goes, and they goes, "Oh, well, you're not supposed." I was like, "Do you know what?" I goes, "You can't force me. Fuck off." Like, I hopefully said to police, "Goes, do one." I goes, "You can't force me to stay in my house." I was like, "It's not happening." And do you know what? in hindsight, it's done so much more damage than what they were trying to make out that it was saving lives and stuff like that. But I lost my business, fucking put weight on, like ruined my life. Literally did ruin my life.
Yeah.
Obviously a lot of other people's as well, but it's like so many people are still now suffering from the consequences of those 2 years. It's fucking.
Well, this is it, brother. I mean, and that's it. Like, I mean, we're never going to get a fucking definitive answer, and we're never going to get the full extent of what really fucking happened. But all these reports, and the leaked fucking conversations that they made up all these fucking variants to try and keep it, But again, that was it. It's like so many fucking businesses went under, so many people's lives and livelihoods were fucking ruined from that, and that was kind of the thing for me. It was, I'm self-employed. I was shut for a year, man. Like, I couldn't tattoo for a fucking year. So but at the same time, I was very, very lucky or fortunate. We got the government grants, So because we had the 2 premises, we got the grants for that, and that kept us, afloat. Well, kept us alive, pay the rent and stuff like that. But, I think it's like, I think that's kind of the thing now, isn't it? Where it's like, well, the cost of living and everything's gone up. Everybody's suffering, So that's kind of like that. It's gone from, I don't know, like people are so much more like antisocial from the ass end of COVID, aren't they? From like people so much less trusting of each other. And then like we said about before, like with dating apps and stuff like people just don't know how to fucking interact anymore. And I think there's a lot of people. My mum's 73, and I don't sort of really speak to her that much, but I've gone around a few times, and and she's like, I don't know, man. Like it was, I think it's got a lot to answer for, in society now, like from COVID and stuff. And like I said, there was a lot for me and my missus. Not a lot really, like I said, not a lot really changed because we just kind of work, go home anyway. Work, go home. What I mean? So we didn't do anything. But at the same time, when there were people that like couldn't see their families because they're elderly, and you can't that must have been fucking.
But that's the thing. Like, if you actually looked at the people that died from COVID, the real numbers, and compare that with the suicide rates for those 2 years, is mental. The amount of how much it shot up because the amount of people killing themselves because they were isolated on their own. I know a lot of people that are even had to borrow, not won't say obviously, borrow money off me because there goes, they were self-employed, like I was at the time, and they couldn't buy food. Months in, and they was like, I'm fucked. Like, I've got no food. I've got none of this. Got none of that.
Yeah.
So I was like, even like lend money to mates and stuff like that to help them out, which was them fucking me up. But I can't see a mate go hungry. Like if I got to go hungry, if he's got to go hungry, I'll go hungry with him. It's just one of them.
Mate,
But like, it was really hard, and it destroyed more than it's done. And like you said, look where we are now. They keep blaming it on the Ukraine, but like there's more. It's more than that.
Of course, it fucking is, mate.
So much more than that.
We're fucking trillions in debt. And that money's got to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
Like the fucking energy prices were going up before this fucking Ukraine war kicked off.
Yeah.
But even that, like, so the fact that they're even, trying to blame it on that and stuff, it's just, nah, mate. It's because there's fucking trillions and trillions of fucking debt.
Yeah. They don't want to take
and these, thing is, I know, like, with a lot of earnings, and I don't know how, I don't know if, like, the full ins and outs, whether it wasn't done bragging-wise, but like the fucking reports from like Shell and they're earning like record billions and billions in profit.
Profits.
You're like, we don't want to fucking hear that, mate. I mean,
how can you profit during what's going on?
Yeah,
like, how can it even be a thing? Like if it's that bad, drop your fucking profits.
Yeah. Thing is, I did notice. I saw a thing before, and it was like energy prices around Europe now we're out of the EU and stuff like that, and energy prices what people up. The UK's one of the highest, we're getting fucked like big time.
Yeah.
But again, it's like the whole sort of America when they got Trump in. I think we got with Trump, it was like, he was saying what a lot of people were thinking, about this fucking stupid wall thing and controlling their borders. And I think it's kind of like the same in the UK. I think, there were so many people that were like passionate and I think, when they voted for Brexit, it was like, well, we want to take our own borders back and we want to be self-sufficient. And, mate, we've recovered from fucking 2 world wars. I'm sure we can and we will get back on our feet,
Definitely.
But, but if we was, mate, it's fucking something like £53 million a day it was costing us to be in the EU. You know, so like, so you fucking, so you keep your fucking, you keep that. We'll keep our 53, 53 million pound a day, and then obviously we'll get back on our feet. But I think it will. But like everything, it's got to get worse before it gets better, mate. And
This is
you
what I
know,
find funny because I can't remember the full story, but it was something like when we got out of the EU, France started moaning saying they want like billions of pounds back for this and that.
oh yeah,
And I was sat
yeah.
there thinking, like, you cheeky fuckers, like just because you've surrendered in every war that's ever happened to you, we've
Oh,
had to go there. France would not even be what it is if it wasn't for
mate, they're the
us.
fucking only army in the world with fucking sunburnt armpits that can't surrender
Yeah,
that quickly. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know.
I've never heard that one
Never-
before. It's
Yeah,
fucking
they
so
would do.
good.
I mean,
Sunburnt armpits because as soon as I go in, they're like
Yeah.
every single time. There's even movies they joke about that. It is,
Mate,
and yet
it's
why
yeah.
moaning? Like,
Historically, it's not having a dig
Yeah.
at France. They just
yeah,
Um,
they just go. They have an army to look tough, and then when anything kicks up, they go, no, thanks.
Yeah,
You
no.
come on in, boys.
this is it, though, mate. And it's the same, like, because again, they were so pissed off at UK and fucking even Brexit. They were just letting fucking people. I mean, it was wild in the ports, wasn't it? They were
Yeah.
just letting people trying to jump on any fucking lorry. There was like the whole fucking shanty village there, and it's just like just get one back on us. They were just letting anyone just jump on fucking anything. It was like the Wild West down there.
God, yeah,
we
I've been
just
through Calais and that, and fucking hell.
Mate, yeah.
There's tents everywhere. And
But I tell you what, mate. Again, the French police, their suicide rate is fucking through the roof. Like they have got such a high suicide rate, But then you think of all that shit that was going on, with fucking terrorist attacks and people running around fucking parachuting with AKs and shit, man. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
That's the problem at the moment.
They've got riots out there now, haven't they? It's all kicking off still out there, and it's just
That's what I find funny about the feminist movement. It's a different topic, but on kind of spiraling off that topic is because they keep moaning like equality. We should be able to do what the men do and stuff like that. And when all these shootings happen, do you see any women running to go and defend these people? It's all men. And like when Ukraine kicked off, which I was actually quite surprised to see in the 2022 to 2023 that all the men were forced to stay. Rightfully so, I agree with that. Like if anyone's coming here, I'd be, you know what I mean? We'd be like, yeah, right, let's go. Look, if I can defend it, of course, I'd take pride in that. But they were forced to stay while all the women were like, they goes, yeah, get out and stuff like that. Did you see any of the feminist movement standing up and going, hang on a minute, no, that's not right. We want to be equal, so women have to stay and fight as well. No, they didn't speak up once. They didn't say anything. It's like, equal rights into equal responsibility. I really do believe that with those movements at the moment, and that's a great example why.
Yeah, like I think with the whole feminism, it's a weird one. Like for me personally, I said I've never been like personally affected by it, but but like I said before, mate, I know fucking women that can like fucking lift heavier shit than I can. I know women that can do. Like I said, astronauts, fucking pilots. I can be a fucking astronaut. I know so many women that can do shit that I can't do. So it's a funny one, mate. I've never understood. It's like it's almost like you're fighting to be accepted, but you kind of are. Do you know what I mean? This is 2023. Like I don't know why they're still
fighting. I believe women have got more rights than men have. I really think.
I mean, but it's like with rights or with or laws. If you want,
and
like,
barriers and
that's
what
what I mean,
they've apparently got.
What fucking? There's no law. There's no right that a man has that a woman doesn't.
No,
there's no differentiation between her.
But
like I don't know, mate. Yeah, I think for me, I do. I'm not like fucking passionate to the point where I'm going to go and fucking rant about it, but yeah, it does annoy me a little bit when feminists keep fucking, especially in 2023, man. Like, women can do whatever the fuck you want. Like, if you want to go and do it, fucking do it. Like, if a woman was passionate about, doing anything, then you can go and do that. I just don't feel that there's I don't know these.
I get annoyed with it because men keep getting blamed for it, and it's like women keep like think of an example, like for instance, like women sexualizing themselves and stuff like that, and all this thing. They go, well, men have the problems they need to sort out. I'm walking around like this. What? So no man wants me now. Well, that's men's fault, and it's like, but it's not. If you you know, gone and had sex with like 200 guys and you dress like this way, and a man doesn't want to marry you because he sees another girl walking down the road, he's had sex with maybe 5 people and is dressed very sophisticated and
Yeah.
smart, covered up a little bit, you know, not as loud,
Mm.
he was going to choose her. And that's not men being horrible. We're just saying how men's minds work. Like he's gonna prefer her over her. But they blame men for it, and like even like the feminists do as well. They go to, oh, it's the men's fault. And like, well, it's not. Maybe if you didn't do that, then a man would want to marry you. And like, obviously, yes, there's these women like that do get married. There are guys out there, but then obviously I know a lot of guys that would do anything for sex. So it's like, because you know, and the funny thing is, I done a live on TikTok not too long ago. I was joined onto another woman's, and I was saying this subject, and she goes, "Oh, well, my partner sat right here, and he doesn't care." I goes, "Really?" I goes, "How many guys have you had sex with then?" And she went, "Well, that's not important." I goes, "Does he know?" And
What, she's the OnlyFans sort of thing.
Yeah, and stuff like that. I goes, "Does he know?" And she went, "Well, it's none of his business." I goes, "Your partner's. Of course, it's his business. Well, you know, yours is his and his is yours, and so on like that." I always said that, and God from the background went, "Hang on a minute, what are you talking about? What? So you done this?" And I was like, "Oh," and I jumped off the live and was like, "There we go." Proved my point exactly. As soon as like,
I think See, 'cause that's where it kind of is those sort of like murky waters, isn't it? Because it's like, right, you know, it's mate. If you want to fucking be a sex worker, mate, do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
You can choose anything in life that you want to be, or if you just got a high sex drive and you want to be a slag, fucking crack on.
Yeah.
But like the second you start blaming someone else for your
action,
that's when it becomes an issue, then, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's
what
I get. Personally, get annoyed by it and triggered by it.
I'll walk around like this, I look like that, or do but I can't get a man.
And it's men's fault because of it, and you're like,
the
audacity of her.
Yeah. See, I've never, I haven't sort of personally seen one where it's like, oh, I'm doing this, but I've seen them when they like, oh, I can't find a man, or I can't find a good man.
Yeah.
But I've never I've seen one where they've sort of like blamed the man for not being. But it's like, I think that's where the line gets kind of crossed, doesn't it? Where it's like, well, you can do what the fuck you want, mate. You can sleep with 200 blokes, whatever, or man, where it's like, but the second you sort of like thinks is, blame a man for not being able to, it's like, oh, why can't I find a decent man? Well, you kind of need to look a bit like.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Then you say that, and women go, "Oh, what is it? Because you're insecure." And it's like, leaving the house every day with a full face of makeup and stuff like that screams insecurity to me. I'm sorry, but do you know what I mean? Having to wear fake hair and this and that. Does that not make you why would you have to do that if you wasn't happy with the way you look? I think it's nothing to do with men's insecurity. We just know how other men think, and you know what I mean, and so on.
But I think of like another facet of that, and just building on that is like, especially for like younger girls, it's like there's so much fucking pressure now. You know what I mean? Like what celebrities look like, and fucking
especially on Instagram and stuff.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And that needs to be fucking held account, because these celebrities have think, oh well, when it suits them, they fucking stand up and. Look, I saw this thing. What did Adele do? I think it's something to do with like she like, I think she like sung for like Live Aid or something like that, and it was like, wait, well, that's an amazing thing. It's like you've only given up their time for like a morning's work to sing on a bit of a track. Like it's not like you've got you haven't dug in your pocket. You haven't donated anything. Do you know what I mean? Like you've sung on the track for a couple of hours in the morning. Now you're a fucking martyr.
That's Red Nose Day, and they scream at the public to give him money. All these celebrities,
exactly.
They're like, we've raised 20 million.
This is what I'm saying. You ain't raised fuck all.
Yeah, and it's like that celebrity put his hand in his back pocket and grabbed 20 million out, and it's like, you cheeky bastard.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And this is what I mean, and it's
all fake, isn't it? Like, these people are not real. Like.
Yeah, and this is what I mean. Like what we were just saying before. Like I think coming back to like the pressures on. I mean, like the younger girls. When we said before, fucking hell, the way you see some of these young girls dressed now, mate. If my fucking daughters ever, if I, thought they'd be leaving the house looking like somebody, these younger, you got another thing coming, mate. You ain't leaving this fucking house. Like no, I'm just saying, mate. I think the pressures.
I know exactly what you mean, because it's even like, women close to me in my life and female friends I have and stuff like that. All the ones where their dad kind of restricted what they wore, how far along their teens they were allowed a phone and stuff like that, are now grown up, very sophisticated girls. They dress very good. Only slept with like 2-3 guys, whatever, at the age of like 25 and stuff like that. They have good relationships. They respect males, females, their elders, all of this stuff. But all like the kind of ones that were allowed to do whatever they want. I mean, OnlyFans. I mean, look, I see where they are now, and I think this is why it's very important.
Yeah.
Especially when dads say that to their daughters and stuff like that. And look, like my missus is that her dad was quite strict and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
grew up very fucking sophisticated. It's like,
I mean, it's like we said earlier. When I was a kid, and grafting for my brother and stuff like, it's building that work ethic. And I think like now, like I said, these younger generation, because this OnlyFans shit's only come out in the last fucking, a few years or whatever. And I think to myself, like more power to anyone. Do you know what I mean? If that's what you want to do, and that's the path you've chosen, I'm not going to criticize you for that or anything. But like, when you then turn around and say, well, I can't get, I have a decent relationship, or I can't do this, or I can't do that, like, you kind of like, I don't know, you got to be responsible for your own actions. Do you know what I mean? And like, if that's the path you've chosen, I'm never going to judge anyone for that. I mean, fucking right, if you get your tits out and get paid for it,
men can't really do that.
Or
So
fucking, have a wank in that and get fucking happy days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Imagine if you get, so, brilliant. But it's just,
don't walk around.
I don't
saying
think you should
that
judge.
People need to respect. Like, it's hard.
Or judge anyone, or feel like it's society's fault that you can't find a thing, or like you see these women go, "Oh, a man can't handle me," and they're like, "What?
Yeah, why do they want
to have to handle you? Why have you got? What's happened?" But again, it's like, what's happened in their life? Do you know what I mean? Like, I was watching this program recently, like Daisy Mae Cooper, and she sort of like, she was like abused as a little girl, and then she sort of grows up and she's like a sex worker and stuff like that, and we kind of touched on that before, where it was like, you don't know the fucking implications, what that person who, like your parent who's biologically programmed to fucking protect you and love you.
So
if they're doing that to you, do you know what I mean? Like,
it's fine for everyone else.
Some women grow up fucked because it's like they associate that with love, or that love, that person of authority or loved one in their life, fucking doing that to them. Do you know what I mean? So they just fall into that fucking shitty situation. Bless them. Do you know what I mean? But you just, again, it just, going on to mental health, like, you just don't know what the fuck that's going to do to someone, man. It's fucking disgusting, mate. But it's just, that happens to any fucking child or anyone. Do you know what I mean? But later on in life, you need something to happen. But again, I do wonder whether, I mean, don't get me wrong, fucking hell, mate. I know. Well, no, I don't know, but like, when you hear about all these stories of like, you go to a strip club or whatever, and me personally, I can't fucking think of anything worse. Do you know what I mean? Like, some woman like shaking the tits in your face, want 20 quid, and for it, and like,
and you can't touch it.
You're right. But
what's the point?
But then it's like, do you know what I mean? I couldn't think of anything worse, but personally, but you always hear, oh, I'm just doing this to get through like med school, or like, but it's just that easy to get into that,
it's almost like selling your soul, isn't it? To the devil.
I think, do you know what I mean? But no, I do know. Well, I won't say who, but it's a friend of mine's cousin.
Yeah.
And she started working at like fucking Furos Only or whatever. I don't know what she called that back in the day.
I've never been in there.
So, and I remember we were like, I don't know, must have been like 18. And as soon as she started working there, obviously my mate was like, right, don't anyone ever go in there? And I kind of get it, but she's a fucking good girl. I think, I don't know. And come from a good, honest, so.
I just think it's like this thing. I see it as, when you see all these girls doing it, I see it as like, that's someone's daughter, like, and it's like, it makes me upset almost, because like, you see like loads of them doing it, like, oh, I'm doing this and doing that, and you think like, fuck yeah, if my daughter was doing that, I'd be so upset, so ashamed. Like, it's just it's a hard one.
I think for me, like, it's, I don't know, man, like, I don't know. It's a difficult one. I don't know anyone who got in the industry, but I don't know if I wouldn't. I don't know. I'm not, mate. I don't give a fuck what anyone does. You know what I mean? I'm obviously a bit older than you. Do you know what I mean? So I'm quite fucking chill in that. Like, again, it'd be a different story. Heaven forbid, if, like I said, if it was your daughter. It would be, or someone that you. It's like, right, okay. I don't know then how I'd feel about it, but I'm not going to sit here and judge. But I think the second that someone does that and then they turn around and blame others, or or criticize others for like them not being able to get, then it's kind of like, well, no, come on, mate, you need to like man up and this.
That's when I get a problem
I mean?
with it. Is that's the only time it's the only time I get triggered by it, is when they start blaming men for it, and you're like, well, you chose that way because you can do whatever you want to. No, you're no barriers stopping you. But why is it his fault? Because they go, oh, men are insecure and trust. He found out that through OnlyFans, I've slept with 200 guys and stuff like that. So he left me. Oh yeah, that's his fault. I'm like, well, it's not, is it? It's like, why would you want to deal with that and have to put up with you? Like, when there's a girl around the corner that hasn't got that. Like, that's the thing, and that's the difference.
I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I've never really sort of, I don't know the full ins and outs, but like you said, I think, mate, fuck it, like you said, do what you need to do. But I mean, the second they turn around and start blaming them, oh well, this and it's like, nah, mate, it's. I think it's difficult, isn't it? Because again, but then there are dudes out there that like they don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, and I think there's someone for everyone out there, isn't there? You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think, fuck me, mate. It's like,
one guy probably Wallen.
Yeah. Like one man's trash is another man's treasure, isn't it? Like anything in life, and I think some dudes are cool with it, and like fair play to you because you just sort of think, fuck, you found each other, Yeah, it is a bit of. But like I said, personally, I couldn't be with someone who'd done that,
No.
But I'm not. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit there and judge someone that does it because it's like, do you know what I mean? Like,
I've always been a bit of a clean freak. So like when it comes to relationships stuff like that, I was always hot on it. Like, who else you been with? Like, I was like, because I do like that. Like, it's
the fucking blue, was it the blue light? Or whatever.
Yeah. We got yeah. Where's the marks?
Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, black light.
Heebie-jeebies.
Yeah. No, I remember that when I sort of first met my partner, and I was like, we were just talking, and I think I was tattooing her one day, and I mentioned a few people, and like, nah, and I realised like, oh, you're one of the good ones, She didn't know anyone that, like, the sort of people that know scallywags and that, or any of the, the lunatics, and I was like, you're a normal one, aren't you? Like, thank God.
I love it. Yeah, no, because I've got like friends of Miss and stuff that I've met. Come around for parties and stuff like that in the past, and like just like drunk talking to them and stuff like that. Like, yeah, see, I was at this party, like, I had these 3 guys, and you said they're like, oh, right, okay, yeah, like, and then she was like, and then like 2 days later, like, I had then this other guy come around and stuff like that. I was like, what, of the same? No, completely different guy. I'm like, okay, and then next week, like, I had like sex with these 2 other guys, and I was sat there like. Okay, and I was like, did you go get tested or anything after this? Oh, no, and I'm like, fucking hell, no wonder all this shit spreading amongst like a lot of women, like, and stuff like that. I was like, they're like just jumping on everything, and I'm like, without wiping it off first. It's like, fucking chill out, mate. You're gonna get something.
Yeah. But again, that's it, though, isn't it? If you've, it's just like, but do you know what I mean? For me personally, I'm like, fuck it. Just crack on, do you? Do you know what I mean? If you've got a high sex drive and that's what you want to do, mate, fucking, you do you. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I'm too tired for that now.
Fuck, that's what I'm saying, man.
Get over it. Do you want to? No, I just want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Have a nap before and after.
yeah. Just give me a couple of days stretching and we're good to go. But no.
Limber up first. It's rule number 27 in the handbook.
That's it, mate. No.
And then double tap.
Yeah, no, mate. That, and that's what I mean. Is I don't. I think until it like affects you in a personal way. You know what I mean? I don't judge anyone for anything. You know what I mean? So fucking crack on.
Yeah,
mate, do what you
got to do. I like support anyone. It's and this is when people see me like lose my shit on social media. It's because someone's then put it in my face. And whenever someone puts something in my face, then I have a problem with it. Like
a dick or something.
Yeah.
Be digging my face, good dude. Yeah,
butthole.
Yeah.
But it's like, like I said, like stuff thing with like the pride marches and stuff like that. Like they were all accepted and are accepted. No one cares. Like not no one cares about it. Like no one cares. You do what you want. We don't give a shit. But like now, where you keep seeing that they're starting to do drag dances in kids' schools and shit like that. Like, leave the kids out of it. They've got nothing to do. What does sex have to do with children?
I mean,
because that's what it is. It's that's your sex, and you're celebrating what sex you are and stuff like that. I don't get what that has to do with children, because now they're saying, they're not, especially in America, they're doing drag stuff. Like I'm talking like guys going in wearing thongs, jean shorts, half their ass. Yeah, that's what's happening lately, and there's parents there cheering on like that, and there's little girls sat there, little boys, 7, 8 year old, and they're dancing, like shaking their ass in front of them. And I was like,
I mean,
I thought he was trying to fight paedophilia, not fucking now make it acceptable throughout
yeah.
yeah. And that's I was sat there the other night, and Mrs. watching me laughing because I sat there gritting my teeth, almost about to punch the fucking TV in.
I mean,
like getting angry about
I
it.
don't, mate. I can't even comment. I don't, I haven't seen any of that.
Yeah,
but I must
I'll
admit,
have to show you. It's,
yeah,
it's crazy.
It's a weird. I don't think it's. I don't think it's not like. I don't know.
To me, it's like a speechless thing. You just don't know how to feel.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel. Yeah, because I mean, I haven't seen it, but it might just be like, I mean, for the kids, it's like lavish outfits and the.
So that's what I thought it was at first, because I like showing them different cultures in a way, I suppose, and stuff like that. And then when they were seeing the ones literally half naked and stuff like that, I was like, well, what was that? And then they'll go in like, it's okay to like other boys, it's okay to like that. And I'm like, fucking hell, their brains ain't even developing yet. Like, just let them make their own decisions and then go from there, type of thing. Like, but
I think that's what I mean. For me, I think what it boils down to is I think that's quite. I mean, how old were they?
7, 8 year olds,
Oh,
up to about 12-year-olds.
I mean,
a bit of teenagers, yes. I understand. Like,
I mean, I think sort of like 12. I mean, excuse me. You've got like an understanding of certain aspects a lot more. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know the context, mate.
Yeah,
I'll have to. Yeah, before but again,
I just don't even want to watch anymore.
Yeah, we've all said I watched that Dumpling on Netflix and I thought it was fucking amazing. The Dolly Parton one and that. Jennifer Aniston, and me and Mrs. Voice said, "Oh, fucking, we'd love to go to a drag club. It would be a good night." You know what I mean? But
it'd be amazing. There's nothing wrong with it at all.
I think in schools, I don't know. I said again, I don't know the context of it.
Yeah.
So I'd have to, but it's. I mean, it depends on what they're trying, what the messages they're trying to put across to kids.
That's the thing. These days, you don't know, do you?
Well, I mean, I said I haven't seen it, mate, so I can't really. But yeah, it's. I mean, I think fucking like drag queens are fucking hilarious. Do you know what I mean? And over, they're so like polished. But in an adult,
some of them look better than women.
Fucking mate, you seen them lady boy competitions?
Yeah.
Bro, you could be 2 inches away from them, not even know.
Yeah.
It's
normal. It's
wild,
normal,
mate. Like, you wouldn't. Some of them you can't. Yeah.
So I was going to say, do you know a theory in my head that I find funny, like over there in Thailand, like it's normal. And accepted, and it's never spoke about. And it's like over here, like if you just stop talking about it, it would just become normality. Like I honestly believe that. Like if everyone stopped going, look at this, you have to do this, you have to think that, and because like you are accepted.
See, I mean,
you know what I mean, it's one of them.
I mean, what I'm about to say, and by fucking no means I don't want this taken out of context. I've got fucking gay friends, I've got transgender niece. You know what I mean? I've got fucking
Yeah, so if you sit there and try to say anything about it, shut up.
But the only thing is, right, and this is, again, I mean, I've got no fucking problem whatsoever, and I love it, and me and my missus, we've been over and supported it, but I mean, with the gay pride thing, right, and like Black Lives Matter and stuff like that, like, all lives matter, man, do you know what I mean? But like, can you imagine if you had, like, again, I don't mean this in any fucking disrespect whatsoever, but we have like, gay pride. We have, black pride now.
Yeah.
If you had white pride, mate, you'd be called a fucking.
You're not allowed to be a straight white man these days.
I just mean, but could you imagine having a parade called White Pride? To celebrate white people.
There'd be an uproar about it.
I'd be fucking mate. And that's why that's my only not concern or objection. It's just like everyone's fucking equal, mate. And again, like I said, I've got transgender niece. I've got fucking black friends, white friends. I've got friends of every fucking ethnicity. It does not matter one fucking bit to me, but it's just like it's like you said, and again, it's like the feminine. Like the more you push to be accepted and you're fighting, you are accepted. Like everyone's equal. Like, I don't know, it's like I don't know if we necessarily, what I mean. I mean, I love gay pride, mate. Like I said, I'm not fucking putting anybody down. I don't mean that derogatory, but but you know what I'm saying? Like you've got to look at it in the bigger picture. Like when George Floyd got killed in America. Yeah, people were rioting over here. I'm like, that was in America.
Yeah,
you don't know the guys. You know what I mean? Why are we having riots here? Like,
I see some of that happening in town.
Off, mate. Like,
and they're going
mate, it's fucking disgusting. It doesn't matter if you're black or white. If a police officer kills someone, you know what I mean? Like, and
abuses power.
That's fucking that crime. The law's the law, mate. But I just couldn't. I'm like, did you know George Floyd? Did you?
Yeah.
You know the family? Did you send him any
cousins of him?
Condolences? No. So why are you just using that? Like it was the same with the London riots, wasn't it? You come out of COVID. And I think that's all it was. I think people just were so locked up, they just want something to kick off about.
Yeah,
then there was fucking riots all over London. You think, this was in America. There's fucking school shootings every day. Why is nobody rioting about fucking kids getting killed and school teachers being killed? Of all sorts of...
Do you know what, though? If it was a white matey who had his neck basically strangled by his knee and stuff like that, there'd been no uproar whatsoever.
But this is what I mean.
There would have never been an uproar. No one would have cared.
That's the thing. But George Floyd got killed, and this is what I'm saying. Like in that riot, there was a black man in America. He was running away from the police, and they gunned him down.
Yeah.
No one said a fucking word about it.
No.
So I mean, because it went all over, mate.
Because it wasn't filmed like that.
Yeah. In America, there's so much. It's inherent, and I fucking massively feel for it, man. Like there's such a fucking divide in the States still. In certain areas more so than others.
Yeah.
But. There was like that dude. He was a black man in America, got gunned down, mate. Literally about 2 months after.
Yeah, no one said. I actually,
so where was
I was just thinking in my head. Yeah, I remember
what I'm saying, mate?
Yeah, I remember that.
Fucking hell! It's just like people just when they want to be offended and it suits them. This is
people love being offended.
Yeah, people love being offended, but when it suits them, do you know what I mean? But it was like you said about when Ukraine thing kicked off. Fucking, you got a 5. Yeah. When the doctor's going, okay, right, so can we put you down on the list then to house a refugee?
Yeah, I know.
No. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I get it, mate, but this is why, 9 times out of 10, it's almost not worth having an opinion because it just sparks a fucking uproar, mate.
Like I said, I went on one of those trans debates, and I was trying to educate myself. I wanted to ask some questions. And all I got was you're transphobic, and I was like, right, okay, I'll give up. Fucking hell! I was like, I'll give up. I was only asking a question. But if you don't want to, as an adult, answer me, then whatever. But the other thing is, like I was saying, like, what's more of the divide in America? One funny thing is, I keep seeing, and this was brought up by, I think, I can't remember his name, Peterson. He does a lot of. He's fucking wicked.
Oh, Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, Jordan. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it might have been him. I can't remember. It was either him or someone else. But he's a legend. And from the videos of George Floyd, a lot of black women, black men, and that were going, this still proves that after white people started slavery and stuff like that. And as, he said, hang on a minute. Slavery wasn't started by white people. It was started by black people. Black people enslaved other black people before white people, and they showed white people how to do it. That's how it started. And the fact that with all Black History Month stuff like that, they don't know this makes me think: what are they? Are they just teaching anything that makes them look good and makes them happier, or are they actually learning the history? Because it was black on blacks before it was ever white on blacks, and that needs to be taught more. They need to know because they're still using it as a propaganda just to hate us. And it's strange. I mean, because I don't see, I never saw colour growing up ever. It was if you're a cunt, you're a cunt.
Exactly.
I don't know if I can actually say that word online. And if you're a great guy, you're a great guy.
Yeah, this is what I mean, mate. And this is why, like, say for me personally, like at the age I'm at now, this is why I don't. I see something that pisses me off, or not. When people are getting an answer, and you just think. You've got such a good and logical and educated answer to it.
Yeah.
But, it's just like, I can't be fucking bothered to even mention it because like I said,
no matter
what fucking subject it is in life or what sex you are or anything like that, someone's going to oppose what you're saying. And you won't win the argument because they're that fucking...
As we've seen lately.
Yeah. And if it's from an educated standpoint, then that's fantastic. But even that, no matter how many times you say to people, I've seen you put in your TikTok, on the TikTok and stuff, and it's like, watch the video. Yeah. No, watch the full video. And you're taking it out. Once something's taken out of context, it's just it's just like a minefield, mate. So for me, like to do this, it's for me, like I said, it's, well, I know for what I mean, but it's just like it's been nice and it's been fucking massively liberating for me to be able to because I've kept my mouth shut for all these fucking years.
Yeah.
About my previous a previous relationship or a previous partner of mine who's now me
for
my children.
No names.
So now I'm having my say and that's what it is because I'm actually voicing my opinion and my side of it, and heaven forbid that person now thinks, fuck, like his side is going to come out now, and people aren't,
because tried exploiting you through lies, and you can exploit someone with the truth.
Because, mate, for fucking years, mate, I've had my name dragged through the mud by this person. For fucking, and it's not, it's fucking professionally, mate. It's for family members, friends. Do you know what I mean? It's like the fucking, but the weirdest part of it is it's never like me that has to. It's like it's almost my missus. Set up a fake profile and with my missus' profile picture, with pictures of a 13-year-old autistic son on there, mate. What sick fucker does that? Do you know what I mean? But and guys, there'll be people on there hopefully that watch this and watching live. That have experienced it. Like I've had people, bless them, commenting on one of my TikTok things, and fucking some of the shit that their exes are doing, keeping away from their children, and mate, it's wild. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a nipper said he's fought since he was 19 through the courts, and the private courts of law, the family courts in the UK. That's why Fathers for Justice are now calling them out, because they're fucking laws, and fathers in the UK, mate. In the UK specifically, to what we're saying, they've got no. It's nothing, mate. That's why men are 3 times more likely to kill themselves.
Yeah.
That have been separated from their children. And it's just
So the women who comment saying women don't do that. Well,
mate,
these are flooding in, so they obviously do. So.
They do, and I've got women commenting saying, "Look, their partner's exes are doing it to them," and that's what I mean. And that's why we're going to get your partner and get my partner. So you would have a woman standpoint.
Yeah.
There's no women hating, guys. What you need to understand is, men's mental health, and
it's being ignored.
It's being ignored, and that's not. It's proven. It's professional fighters like Paddy Pimblett, bless him. His mate killed himself, didn't he? So Paddy's now like a big advocate for stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? And it's not, all the stuff he's putting up, bless him. It's just there's just nothing for men. Well, there was not nothing, but it's just so hard for it to be recognised now, and it needs to stop, It needs to be more done. And I know there are charities out there and stuff like that, but it's just, even if we can, like say, help one person. Like I said, I was speaking to 3 different people last night on my TikTok DMs. I've never met these people. They just started following me, and then bam, we're having an insightful conversation. And they're telling me, their deeper stuff, because you can just relate. It's like when you join the army. There's a reason why. When you join up, you've got that full screw or your corporal, your section command, or whatever. Like, they're fucking in your face. They're fucking screaming and shouting and treating you like a cunt. It's because you then join with 30 other strangers, and you ain't got a fucking clue what's going on. But if you're sat in the room, you've got nothing in common. But if you turn and go, God, he's a cunt, him, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? He's fucking screaming. And that, mate, it's all to do to build you up, and that's why we do it in the British Army. They're not, one is it's mental toughness, and it's
some good shit.
It all happens for a reason. You go, he's a cunt, isn't he? You've got to stand up in front of a room of strangers and do an icebreaker, and you're like, oh, my name's Carl, and I'm from Southampton. Oh, fucking hell, But and confidence, it does come, but it just I don't know.
It's true. But there's a lot of this stuff that we talk on from experience, and stuff like that. Because if you women comment and say stuff like, because I said the majority of men, I goes, there's probably out of 10 men, I said I can guarantee, almost 100% guarantee that 8 out of those 10 men have fought, if not tried, killing themselves. And the women called me a liar. They go, no. I guess, have you asked? They went, no. And I even said, like I'll say now, live on here, I've attempted my own life 3 times. Not that any of my family knows this.
Exactly, mate. No.
Well, my dad does actually. I've won, but it's like, so I'm saying that from someone who's tried it 3 times.
Exactly, mate.
Embarrassingly unsuccessful. Fucking worse for it. I can't even fucking do. That's how useful I am. But and that's what I say. Like, it really does. And all the guys I know in my life have thought about it, if not tried it.
Yeah. Well,
and I don't know. Yeah. Personally, I only know of one woman I've come across that has thought of it.
Yeah.
Like, not that it's not done, but like it might,
Yeah, and I know fucking. I worked with SF lads and ex-SF boys, and and I know multiple blokes that they've been stood on the fucking cliff edge, mate. And thought about jumping. It doesn't, and that's well, this is the thing, I've worked with special forces and stuff like that, and I've served with them, and it's like just because you've got that thing, like selection is fucking mustard, man. I'm not taking nothing away from it, but it's like they are just they're regular soldiers, but the funding's there, and they just train and train and train. They're so well drilled, like I was in the infantry.
Yeah.
And fucking hell, mate. Like, we never did, any... The funding just wasn't there to go, we're going to do a bit of map reading today, lads, or we're going to do field craft. And just never did it. Do you know what I mean? Like, nothing... It was just, But, yeah, you get lads that go, sort of like a senior Tom or whatever, and it's like, right, you're going to do your Cardo now, lads. And some of these boys couldn't fucking map read, mate. Do you know what I mean? And they're like 4 years in the infantry.
Yeah.
But, if, it's like me and you going, okay, well, here... Go and make me a fucking beef Wellington, or like if you're a chef and you don't know how to make it. If you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So but lads were so fucking scared to go to another bloke and go, mate, I don't really know how to fucking map read. Can you? Because you do certain parts of it in training, but by the end of it, the emphasis is on other things like your drill and all that. So you don't really do a lot of fucking map reading because the way modern warfare went, especially when we went armoured.
Yeah.
Of course you still need a map read. You never get in a vehicle, but. I knew so many fucking lads that were like, you do a bit, just like a little refresher on fucking 8-figure grid reference. You're like, what the fuck? How do I do that? You know what I mean? And
what's these squiggly lines?
But it's not their fault because I said if you're not up to date on it and you don't know how to do it, and you don't, and I think that's another thing with sort of men in life. Like I said, it just boils down to asking for help, and I'm just using a military analogy. But I think in terms of anything,
but it's a big problem in society because a lot of people look. If someone says to me, "Oh, I don't know how to do that," I ask them, "Why don't you know?" And they go, "Oh, well, I've never learned it." I'm like, "Well, what you do?" But in today's society, you're laughed at. People laugh at you. Oh, you don't know how to do that. How pathetic are you? And shit like that. And that's what's wrong. Like, help people out by teaching them. Look, fucking knowledge is power. So if you've got a lot of knowledge, then teach it. I can't think of anything better when you teach someone something and then you see them doing it on their own without you, and you think, "Fucking, he listened, he watched, he learned, and now he can do it." And it's a good thing. I don't get why everyone laughs at each other. It's pathetic, really. It's,
I mean, I think it's just one of those things, mate, isn't it? Where I mean, I think I suppose. Being a tattoo artist and stuff like I don't really sort of like encounter that much as such. But I think in terms of men just not asking for help, you know what I mean, or being too embarrassed to ask for help, or and doing certain things. But again, it's like everyone's individual, aren't they? Like I enjoy cooking. I love cooking at home, so I'll do the cooking. And that doesn't matter if I've had a full day at work or if I always did it when my girls were growing up. I love cooking, so but that's like a passion of mine. So that's not a sexist thing, or I mean, that doesn't even come into it. It's just I love to cook, so I will cook at home.
Find enjoyment out of it. Peacetime.
So
same as me. I do.
It's just something that I enjoy doing, so I'll do it. And
you can buy a carbonara sauce, or I can make it.
Mate, honestly, we've got into the thing at the moment, mate. I'm watching there's you get certain channels built in with our Samsung. And so as soon as you switch it on, it goes on to Samsung TV. And Jamie Oliver's got his own channel. And fucking mate, me and my missus, we cut up in the morning, and I watch Jamie for about 3 hours. I'm like, ding. Do you know what I mean? So, we've got so many little ideas, but it's just brilliant, and it's just become our norm now. It's like, stick a bit of Jamie on it. So
up in the morning of Oliver on.
Rather than rewatch either that or The American Office.
Mine's Hell's Kitchen. I can love
mate. That. I think because I'm quite a Larry fucker anyway myself. It's really weird. And again, this is going to sound like my sort of career choice and stuff like that. And people I don't like mindless violence. It's weird. I can't watch Walking Dead. I don't really watch it. I don't know.
Yeah.
And Gordon Ramsay's one that, possibly because I think I'll probably knock him fucking spark out if he spoke to me like that. So I can't handle it. Do you know what I mean? When I see him screaming at people, I think if that
he goes that nuts, and you think, dude, it's a steak.
This is what I mean.
Chill the fuck.
But So this is what I used to say. It was the same when I was in the army, right? I was for nearly 10 years. So by all means, you give me a fucking order, I will do it.
Yeah.
But if you go do this, you can't. Then that's personal now. Do you know what I mean? You don't call me a cunt, mate. And I've did. I had fucking a few officers. Well, got busted. But You know, but I should say to him, mate, that's a fucking rank side, not a gum shield, mate. Like, don't talk lads, I'll knock your fucking teeth.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why in the army, I was a bit like, towards the end, I was just too fucking long in the tooth, and I was too like, I'm not having that. Do you know what I mean? Don't talk to me like I'm a cunt.
Like when,
you don't talk to me like a cunt, I'll treat you like one.
It's like when I was a craftsman and you get a lance jack come in. I'll tell you what, you look at him like, fucking, you only just got that, you cunt. You shut the fuck up.
But that's it, yeah. I knew so many people, even lads that joined with me or not long before me, got made up before me and stuff. And they just turned into an absolute fucking dickhead, mate, when you got a lance jack. You're like, mate, no, come on.
Yeah.
Just stop, and that's, and again, I know it's an extreme analogy, but, I always, people, and, lads that always knew me from the army, or still know me now, so from when I was in the army, will tell you, like, I never bought into the fucking alpha male shit or the clickiness.
Yeah.
I walked straight into the boxing team, so I got left alone. Whereas I knew lads that joined with me that they weren't, not that it matters, but they weren't fighters. I mean, they didn't have nothing, and they got fucking terrorised, mate. They got a really fucking hard time. So I walked straight in on the boxing team, mate. Got left alone, built a reputation for myself, and I saw it, and it was so. There were a couple of people that I sort of bit my tongue, and when the time was right, and I've been in a little while. I had a word with a couple of people for mates of mine, because I saw my mates get fucking. When you see a grown man cry because he's had a fucking slap for no reason, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not. No, I'm not into that, man.
No, but there's like a thing. Like, I've even said this to my missus and mates who don't know much about the military, and they still, like, to this day, loads of them don't believe me. I guess, look, when I was at Lynon, for instance, I can't remember how fucking long ago now. Our rooms, we had, like, in the hallway, you probably had maybe about 14 different rooms, and they're all like 4 men. So 4 men there, opposite 4 men, stuff like that. So you live like there, and then in training, there's 12-man fucking rooms and accommodation. I mean, with just a little bit of wood that separates you in your lockers.
Eight.
So you're always in close proximity. And the thing is, when you used to have disagreements in the army, it fucking, like, the other boys just locked the room and you just had to fucking beat the shit out of each other. Like, that's shit that happens, because there's a lot of stigma where people go, ex-military people weren't military. I know I actually had a comment on someone, I'll have to show you in a minute. I actually had a comment going, I'm thinking you're tough boys and shit like that. And I'm thinking, dude, like, when you're in the military, because it's not fucking walking apart. Like, if you ain't tough, like you're saying, people fucking rip into you. And I've had disagreements.
Said that on your videos.
Yeah. It goes, you lot ain't tough, like that. And I was thinking, well, mate, come here. Step into the fucking. But it's like, that was the day in a life. Like, when you have disagreement with someone and stuff like that, like each room, because you have like room battles, don't you? Like, you start talking to each other, and then he'll like walk into the room, and then the other guy comes in, shuts the door, locks it behind. Right, here we fucking go. You jump up and you fucking fight each other. And in training, our sergeant, if you had a disagreement with someone, like, fuck, I don't know, you nicked his boot polish or stupid shit, you pissed in his bed because it fucking happens and shit like that. Our sergeant used to just grab us, throw us in the fucking drawing room, and make us fight each other. Whoever won, right, there you go, you were right. It's like, look, that's literally what happens. So it's like, when people are saying shit like that, it's like, I'd fucking love to see you try to live a day in the life that we have.
Oh yeah, that's the first I've heard of that. To be fair, but again, that's just another fucking. It just proves it. Like you said, no matter what you say, like, at no point have we sat, like, or me or you sat going, do you know what? I'm fucking hard as fuck. I must.
No, yeah.
You know
Never go around saying that.
Like, the army is a fucking tough place to be. Do you know what I mean? And but this is another thing. It's like, again, I'm 41 years old. Like, if you go around thinking like, I'm hardest, like, mate, you're going to get fucking humbled very fucking quickly. You know?
Yeah.
So, and again, that just proves my point. Like, no matter what you say, we're not on to go, fuck it, I want to start a YouTube podcast and fucking, I'm hard as fuck. No. Bullshit, mate. You know what I mean? It's like, but at the same time, you've been through tough situations and tough times. Like I said, I don't give a fuck who can have who. And do you know what I mean? I'm 41 years old, mate. It don't fucking matter.
But don't you think the funny thing is, though, when you see like people going, like, you don't know who I am, on this, on that, and that, and it's like, when you've got confirms, you look at them going, dude, you don't even fucking know. Like,
mate,
this what's ridiculous.
But this is what I'm saying, mate. Like, I grew up all my life with people, easy hard, just cunt around, easy hard. But what lads didn't know that I grew up with, like, when you train in MMA gyms, like, mate, people don't know somebody's, and this is what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't. I never underestimate anyone. Like, it's just like, I know 9, 10 stone lads that would knock the fucking bollocks off you. So size means nothing. It doesn't. Females as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know some girls that would twist you up like a pretzel, mate, before you even, if you even thought about doing anything. And me included. So just what annoys me again. Someone's taking a fucking flippant comment or out of context and going, "Oh, you lot think you're hard in that." Well, it's not about me.
No.
Trying to raise men's mental health awareness, like not
Yeah.
trying to be hard, just saying that you've had a fucking hard life,
Yeah.
And it just like, but it's just I don't know. Again, it's just fucking ignorance, mate, and it's
Yeah, that's the thing.
Right.
Man. It's just laughing because I think you said that woman. Have you seen the meme going around at the moment? You know those punch machines you put 50p in and it drops down.
Oh,
and you
mate,
punch it.
that
Girl's proper goes
Fucking
in. She's like,
bosh,
boom,
yeah.
and then it's a video of
Mate,
matey
watching up
out.
I saw that one.
That's
another one,
amazing.
Like, she's like, I think she's a bit tired. I think like, sort of Filipino Thai.
Yeah.
Same thing. She fucking
Yeah.
smashes it, mate. And
Oh, that was one of those women was on Jackass, wasn't it? Like a female kickboxer.
Yeah,
and she
yeah.
beats the fuck out of the
Yeah,
cast,
yeah.
doesn't she? She's there,
This
like, boom,
is-
boom.
yeah. But
The
me,
skill,
me and my
like-
missus have this conversation, mate. Like just even in privacy of our own home, where you just like we love I love the UFC, so we watch it together. And you got like Shevchenko and all these girls, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like Amanda Nunes and fucking Ronda Rousey and
Ronda Rousey,
and
yeah.
Holly Holmes and so, mate. They would knock you fucking if you've got anything like you fucking bitch, make me go. They'd knock your fucking bollocks off
Yeah.
you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And this
some
is-
of you skinny little chavs out there.
but this is what I'm saying. But like, it just boils down to like, again, this is my whole thing with like, women can do, or feminists. Mate, we know. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there are fighters out there, and it's not just, mate. You watch Joe Rogan's podcast. Even him is like, they would knock your fucking dick off, mate. Before if you've ever tried any of that shit,
Yeah, but
So,
that's like coming to because I was like saying when people messaging, I was speaking this on the other day. Like I said, like lately, like in the past, I had to have issues because I was having real bad, like aggressive anger issues. Like big, huge, ridiculous outbursts at home. Like breaking shit out in front of my missus and stuff like that. Like, not healthy stuff and,
no, but that's
and
how
things
mine,
like that.
Yeah.
But this is the problem when you got people. Like this is how my mind works. It still does it now to this day, but I've learned how to not let me go after it, whatever. But I've been like in like the car park, like shopping. Like I mean, and there's like two real chavs with their little mopeds with learner plates on, like staring, like acting all tough. And like my mind, I want to challenge it because I see them like with girls and they're going, "Yeah, I've done this and I'm not these and that." And I'm there in my car, like, about to drive away, and that's how that's just what's dangerous. You got to be careful walking around because you don't know what people are like. So like always, like watch your back, look after yourself, and watch your surroundings. Because that's the thing, like I have done in the past. I've overheard them, and I've got out and challenged them because I'm like, I'm really like acting all, like it's something that like I mean that's a lot of bad with why I had to seek help because that's how bad my anger problems got with it. It was because I started like stopping random.
I mean,
Chavvy people in the middle of the road because I overheard them saying, "Yeah, I'd beat anyone up and stuff like that," and in the middle of town centres like shopping malls and stuff like that, and I'd stop and go, "Oh yeah, like it's not a healthy way to live, but that's the problem." So, I mean, there probably are some people out there that suffer the same thing. Like
Mate,
you're not alone. It's
of course you're not alone. But that's the thing. You just got to fucking walk away. I mean,
yeah,
mate, don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, like I said, I'm fucking. You're 25. I'm 41, brother. So like, like when you don't get me wrong, I'm not like stereotyping, but like you see them, they're fucking everywhere, mate.
Yeah,
and they're on the scooters and stuff. But and it like. Yeah, you just got to like, I mean, you just got to fucking walk away and just because it's. But like you said, I think I can relate to the anger thing because again, this is a fucking podcast about men's mental health, and that's where that's how mine manifests itself. It's through anger, and it's not towards my partner. For I'm not like,
it's with everything.
I get so fucking like it builds up, and then I think not having like a practical release for it, like on and off over the years, sort of done a bit like jiu-jitsu and stuff like that, and I found that was like such a fucking beautiful sport, man. And I want to get back in, and I need to get back into it because you go for a role, mate, or you do a class, into a couple of, and you are just fucked, mate. Like you just put it all on the mat, you know what I mean? But again, it's humbling because you're training with people that I think it's for me like it's true. I think with jiu-jitsu, it's the closest thing I think you can come to fucking death, on a daily basis. Because if that person, you don't trust them implicitly to stop when you're going to tap, you can rip your fucking arm off or it will kill you. And these boys, like I said, that's what I found the most humbling thing. I think with I loved it because there's with jiu-jitsu especially, there's no egos. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I've been to boxing gyms and all my life and gone around and stuff, and there's always you kind of walk in and the amount of times you just don't feel welcomed. You know, but you walk into a jiu-jitsu class and the boys on the mat like fucking everyone shakes it. You know, you always have a fist bump and that before you start. Because it's that sign of respect. You know what I mean? And it's like, but you know that you're rolling with people that could like fuck you up. You know, and it doesn't matter. You could be the biggest, strongest, fucking toughest guy. The hardest punch in the world. When it comes to jiu-jitsu, mate, that means fuck all. You know, that shit means it's so irrelevant. And that's what, and I loved it. And I think, but because again, it's so physically demanding as well, and mentally, because you're trying to learn moves, and it's like a fucking chess game. Your brain's going blah, 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 million miles an hour, and you could do it for 20 years, and you could just scratch the surface. It's a fucking amazing sport.
Yeah.
So. But again, that for me, that's an amazing thing, and it is like you said. Mine does. I'm the same as you, buddy. It does manifest like my anger and my aggression.
Yeah.
And not like I want to fucking fight the world. Do you know what I mean? But like you said, like, for me personally, it does, and I think
No, you don't want to, but you can.
because that's how you feel at that moment. Yeah, and it's so hard to control it.
Yeah. I was shamed for it. Like, I really was. Like, mate. A lot of men suffer with that.
Yeah, but again, I think with it comes down to as well that it's just. Fucking Jocko Willing, mate. Obviously, I don't even know much about Jocko, but ex-Navy SEAL, mate. Like fucking 6 foot odd guy, mate. One of the best jiu-jitsu practitioners probably in the world. Especially in America. Like the man's fucking the real deal. And he did it. He was in an interview, and he was like, "What's your best defense?" He's like, "If someone screams at me, I'll run away." If a man screams out, I'll run away. He said, if they then put their hands on me, it's a different situation. He said, but like, what's the outcome? He said, so me and I get into a fist fight. You punch someone, he goes down, I fucking hurt him, I'm going to prison. Or he hurts me, I can't, and it's just like, there is no win in, and I said, it's easy for me to sit here and say that. But, I'm the first one where, somebody cuts you up and then they get out the thing, I can't just drive, So it's, but again, it's like, I think, it all comes down to it's the why, isn't it? And I think having a reason why my missus says, babe, there's not going to be a good outcome in it. If you're going to hurt someone or they're going to hurt you or vice versa and stuff like that. It's lose. You know what I mean? And I appreciate it's so fucking hard. And I'm sat here now saying it, but fuck's sake, the minute somebody jumps out of a car or beat and I know probably tomorrow I could say this now. So. But I'm trying because it scares scares my missus, because she doesn't want to lose me, But again, it's like you said, those guys in the mopeds, and most of them carry fucking knives, mate. I mean, everyone's fucking stabbed. So you can only look at someone wrong, mate, and as soon as you approach them, bam, they're going to put a fucking knife in. It's just not worth it, and so I'm massive like advocate of just fucking walk away, mate. Yeah. And I know, but for male pride. Mate, that walking away from an altercation when someone's called you a prick or fucking hell, I know how hard it is, mate. Yeah. But the fact that, I've had it before where, someone's fucking tailgating us and they're right at my house and I think, if I'd have my kids in the car, it'd be different, mate. I'll get out. It would be better, but anyway, you do it and they push you to the point where, and I've got out next to me and I'm fucking screaming and it's like, and it's more like when I come back in the car and I see the look on my partner's face and it's just like, fuck, man. Although I was in the right, I didn't cause this, but that, fucking frightens the life out of her, mate.
Yeah, didn't have to go this far, did it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Where it's like you think, if I could just fucking be a bigger man, and it is, mate. It's fucking so hard to do, and there's probably people out there watching this that struggle with the same thing. I think just men in society, because it's not just ex-forces or guys that are struggling with mental health. I think. People are so fucking quick to flare up now, and fucking, do you know what I mean? And I'm not going to sit here and go, oh yeah, fucking hell, guys, that's because your own insecurities or anything like that. Like it's not. It's just the way things are now. Do you know what I mean? Like people are so quick to fucking flare up and have arguments, and it's all you fucking see now. And
I do understand as well, though. Like this is actually from women, not me or men, from what I've seen on other podcasts and research and stuff. Obviously, a lot of women do say, like, when they see their man bitched out by another man, they are less attracted to him. There's a lot of thing that's going around at the moment on social media and stuff like that. So I understand there's also a pressure If your missus is watching, you're like, oh, hang on a minute, I don't want to look like a pussy, in front of her and stuff like that. But
mate, that
being a pussy might save your life. Like,
again, mate, that all comes round full circle, like we said before. You're with the wrong fucking person, bro. Like,
exactly.
If you're with someone who fucking belittles you for explaining your emotions, or or showing your emotions, or they belittles you for,
she belongs to someone else then.
Like, mate, whatever. Leave the fucking. Do you know what I mean? The amount of times I've come in here with my flip flops or whatever, my girls are fucking painting my toenails and that. You know what I mean? But like, I'm comfortable with who I am or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And I think but yeah, man, like you said, that is. But I know what you mean. So I have seen a few podcasts, and I've seen a few interviews with women, and they're like, well, if a man was doing this or he putting moisturiser on, that really put me off him, and it was like, a man, how they receive love is, when he comes in the door, whether you like it or not, their love language is they want their dinner cooked and this, that, and the other. And well, but again, that flips on the other way. If you have got a man like that, then that wants to treat you like a fucking slave and a housewife, blah blah. Well, that's by all means, some relationships work on that. Well, I'll go out to work all day, babe. You stay at home, clean the house. That's fine. And some women are happy with that. And that's completely fine too. But when you expect that from a man, and I commented on it. I said, no, mate. A man's love language is a woman who's fucking honest, loyal to him. And I don't mean like, I just mean like, just don't fucking respect and loyalty goes both ways. You know what I mean? But to take that pressure off a male or a female, when your partner, you can trust her. Do you know what I mean? And I'd fucking put everything I own on. My missus could go out, and mate, I fucking trust her like 1,000,000%. You know what I mean? Like, she's just as fucking disgusted as that shit as like I am. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's like, she's just as psycho as I am when it comes to people fucking. You know what I mean? Like messages and that.
Both be psychos together.
Yeah. It was just like that thing I saw. She tagged me in a thing. It was like, there was like a DM. Some woman had slid into some guy's DMs. And he was like, oh, hey, and he's like, listen, my missus could fucking make me and you the next fucking crime story, on a podcast. She's like, that's how psycho she is. Like, I suggest you fuck off now before she buries us both. Like, and it is, and that's kind of the trust and everything, mate, that me and my missus have. So
it's important.
It is, and I get that is kind of a rare thing, man. Like, and when you find that one, fucking just hold on to him. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like it is a rare thing to find, And I'm not gonna say I'm fucking perfect, but you ain't got to worry about me cheating, man. You ain't got to worry about me fucking any of that shit. It's just like.
But that's why I see a lot of confusion, because a lot of mates and like men out here on social media all the time, I hear them speaking. They're like, "Yeah, I know. Like, my girl's not happy if I do this, not happy if I do that, I'm happy to do that." And I'm thinking, why are you with her then? There's someone out there that will be happy with you being honest with your emotions with them, and not wanting to go out and fight a million people for ridiculous reasons and stuff like that. There's women out there, so like, better yourself and think about yourself, because I know obviously a lot of men, think about, like, I know I do and stuff like that. Like, you think about others before yourself, and I've been in relationships that I've dealt with, even getting punched and slapped by them, stuff like that, because I thought I was doing the manly thing, which I was just joking on myself. So, like, fucking stick up for yourself and just fucking leave, mate. And no one can shame you for that, at all, because at the end of the day, it's your life, mate. You're only going to live it once, so you need to keep keep yourself happy. That's something I've realised recently. Like, I've changed my life completely in the last kind of year, because I kept doing things to make everyone else around me happy, and I got to the point now I've gone, everyone else can fuck off. And do you know what? It is now, like, a lot of people hate me because of it. They're like, "Oh, well, you used to be reliable and like help me fix my car, and that we do it." And I'm like, "Fuck everyone now." Like, this is like, everyone used me.
It's exactly what they can get from you.
It's done.
But again, but even that, mate. I mean, like you said, we were just saying about relationships being like it, but you just hit the nail on the head, mate. It's like, it's not even fucking like just relationship, it's friendships. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking definitely. Family members, mate. Like, there's fucking just as toxic people around you, mate. I think, how much balls it took to fucking, come out and admit, fucking, problem before. But again, it's that, it's just who you surround yourself with, isn't it? Because like I said, everyone's there, we're doing a bit, bit of this, bit of that, but when you move away from that, or again, that whole analogy where you stop texting people first. Yeah. Fuck me, you see how quiet your phone goes, mate. It's like so it's just, I don't know. It's
a sad thing. It is, because there's like people I thought of like that I was close with, and then like I said, stop texting first, stuff like that, and never
Phone
never
goes
heard from
quiet,
them. Then
mate,
you sat
doesn't
there
it?
like, oh my god, like
Yeah.
you don't want to, and then that's the thing, and then you get phone calls, and I almost dread phone calls from mates now because they loads of them call me. Oh, how you doing? Like, yeah, I'm good. You and stuff like that. Yeah, like they do a little bit of small talk for 5 minutes, and then it's anyway, I got this problem. And you're like, fucking here we go.
Yeah,
like,
my car. Yeah.
yeah, and just loads of other stuff and things like that. I think some of the best conversations I've ever had from friends is when they've gone and joined the military. Like, oh, I wonder if you could give me some advice. Then I'm like, all the time in the world. I'm like, fucking don't do it.
I mean, yeah.
But no, it's and it's a big preach to you men up there. Like, yeah, if you have got friends that are just calling you, and you know, if you are trading something that you specialise in, and they're always calling you about that and asking for stuff and shit like that, you've got to lose them, because at the end of the day, it's going to destroy your mentality. And
it mate, it really does, doesn't it? You know, and that is it. Unfortunately, mate, you know, it's very. I mean, I said, my man Reese, he's literally the only person that will, call me to go look. But I mean, I know he struggles a bit, like same as myself, and I think 9 times out of 10, we talk about the old days. But it's kind of nice as well, because last time we spoke, it was, they remind you of like little stories that you've sort of forgotten over the years and stuff like that, because you can't remember everything.
Yeah.
And it is nice, but yeah, to be fair, mate, I haven't got like. Yeah, nobody really could. But again, I think that's when you can find someone in like your partner, without sounding fucking super cheesy. Like, she is like my best friend. Do you know what I mean? Like, we do everything together. We used to fucking work in the same shop. So we were working all together all day. We come home, mate. We never argued. Do you know what I mean? And the only thing we ever not even argue, I say, when we do kind of like fall out. It's outside shit, you know what I mean? Like with my stuff with the girls, So then I sort of implode, and it's not even that we fight over that, but then she has to pick up pieces, and she found another fucking 3 or 4 fake profiles in her name with pictures of her and her kids. It's like it's just So I'm very lucky that we are each other's best friends. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can confide in her, and it's the same like we said about the emotions. I'll probably cry fuck at least once a day, mate. You know what I mean? But she's like, fucking hell. So I watched that. Have you seen that Man Down, Shia LaBeouf? Wait, when he comes home, he's got a piece of fucking mate. That just mate, I was like ugly crying for about 10 minutes when I watched it. I think it was a lot of things with the girls and everything, and it all come to the surface. But mate, having a fucking cry, mate, it just gets all your shit out, and you need to have a little cry. But that, mate, fucking. That made me ugly crying for about 10 minutes, man. Like, I was fucked.
But I've even done it before. Like, I've had even even my missus, like, it means it's been sat there nights and like phones going ping, 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 with all friends messaging and stuff like that. And all I sat there with my phone every day and night, just fucking dead quiet. And the only time anyone does bother me, this is even now, it is fucking because I'm useful to people. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is, and you know what I mean? And fucking no one actually gives a shit about me. Look, and now I'm okay with that. Like, you know what I mean? That's like a learning thing. You got to realise that is just. And I'd even say being a man is just what it's fucking like. If you're useful to people, then maybe you'll get contacted. But no, like honestly, even now, like I sit there. Well, sorry, I lied. Not now. Since now that I'm a bit more popular on social media and stuff like that. Right. Now fucking people are trying to fucking bother me, but it's because I can be useful for them. I can be useful to them. And it's fucking. I sit there on my own, mate. Like, I openly admit now, and I fucking sit there and was crying to myself because I'm fucking like sat there, like, and this is for a lot of men. Like, we're truly fucking alone. Like, you do not know what it's like to be alone.
No,
like, it's fucking.
That's why, like, I fucking
hard.
Just sending that little message the other night and that after I was like, mate, I'm fucking proud of you today. Because. Although you're, like you said, you're a fucking grown man, you've got your own shit in that. Do you know what I mean? But like, it doesn't matter. Like any it's just like just to know someone's got your back or someone's fucking just send someone a little message, mate. You know what I mean? That doesn't want anything from you or what you can do for them. Mate. Unfortunately, it's a very fucking rare thing, man.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing. Also, like I said to men, like, so I've had men say, "Oh, well, no one cares about me. Like, what do I do?" And it's like, it's part of it is acceptance. You need to accept that that is how things are. And then you can start to grow. But until you actually switch that in your mind and go, right, okay, that's how it's going to be.
Yeah.
Then stop. You need to get out of denial and kind of realise that.
And I think just having that sort of presence of mind as well, where you just like you have them days where nothing in particular has actually gone wrong. Do you know what I mean? You just have them days where you just like, fuck this, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, fuck everything. Do you know what I mean? And you just you're down, but you can't explain why. Do you know what I mean? And it does, because subconsciously, like, do you know what I mean? You have them days where you're just like, fucking hell, mate. You've got no motivation, and it's gone. And it not necessarily like one thing that will trigger it, but it's just those days where I think subconsciously your brain's just been dealing with that shit for so long, and you just have those days where you're just like, or like the night before, you just fucking dread going to work the next day. You think, fucking hell, I'm only in bed. Do you know what I mean? You think, I can't be fucked going to work tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? Like, what you know? So
it's sick. Just
but it's just acknowledging that, mate, and just having that little time to think, okay, this is all right. Do you know what I mean? I've just got to ride it out. And it is, you can't, you're down for, like you said, you can't put one finger on it, but
that's what I mean. Like, I get upset by like other people's social interactions. Like when I see like Miss friends around and stuff like that, and they're talking about how they got upset, so they called this person and they went that and they took them out for this and that, and I sit there like, wow, that must be nice. That must be lovely, because and even with a lot of my, I could say a lot of my family, they don't give a fuck about me. It's like, and I'm okay with that now, but in the past, it was destroyed me. So much. It was like, I mean, the majority of my family, like, I'm going to say this, fuck it, but it like fucking didn't actually care. And then, and even in the past, like when I broke up with previous exes, they're still like talking to them all the time, shit, and I'm like, and then that's even like at one time it got to that point where I tried taking my own life, because I was like, my family don't even give a fuck about me. Like, friends, and then you sit thinking, so why should I care about my well-being if like I'm obviously not important to other people like that? And that's a lot of a struggle a lot of men go through, and from what I hear all the time. And
100%, mate. Yeah. No, I kind of had, but it was slightly different, obviously, because my kids were involved. But so when I was split up with my ex, they'd still go around and see my mum or whatever, which was fine. But it was then, they're talking about me, and it was like, do you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, like I said, my mum would believe all her bullshit, and it's like, hang on a minute, you're my mum, you're supposed to have my back, do you know what I mean? And it's not even like I have my back where you defend me, but it's like there's two sides to every story, and it was like, and that's why I don't really speak. Well, I said I don't speak to my mum. Well, I don't.
Do you know what a good thing is though? It's like they go, well, they said this and they said this about you and stuff like that. And like similar, like, I don't have kids, but similar things in the past. So I didn't even explain my point. I was like, I don't need to fucking explain myself. Like, I know what the fuck's happened. If you want to buy into their bullshit,
exactly. And
I can't be fucked for it.
Mate, I've had it with multiple exes. With and it's just sort of like, it's crazy. That, like, my mum believed all their bullshit, and then it all comes round, and then it's like, then you see me fucking breaking down and fucking this, that, and the other, and you're like, well, okay, I believe you now. Like, well, no, I'm supposed to be your son. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, she was never fucking.
But that's the thing. Like, I've even had family members say to me, I always say it as well. I had a family member before say, "Oh, well, she didn't ever do anything to me," and I'm like, God, fucking. If like some stranger, whatever, fucking wrongs like one of my boys, like that, fucking that's it. We're attacking together. Like, I don't like that cunt now. Like, what the fuck? Like,
that's the thing, mate. But again,
that's one of them. But then, I like I said, I had to teach myself that just because I have this respect for people, doesn't a lot of other people don't. So you need to kind of realise that, don't you? Like, so.
Mate, 100%, and that's what it's taken. But I'm the same. Like, if you're a friend of mine, or I'll do anything for anyone, mate. Do you know what I mean? But like, if you sort of like, if it's not reciprocated, like, I'm just like, no, I'll burn bridges. I'm too old to fuck around now. Do you know what I mean? It's like, so, but you find 9 times out of 10 it's never reciprocated, mate. And that's what I've come to realise, that through like COVID and not seeing a lot of people and stuff like that, and I think it was a big thing where COVID would either make a lot of relationships ended, either make you or break you, and I think that's why I'm so lucky now, because I've like you said, I've come to the terms. It was like, there's family members, there's people out there. I can't rely on anyone but my missus. You know what I mean? And that's
same
it.
as me.
Even even my own children have been manipulated against me. And that's like, you're my flesh and blood. Like, I've never wronged them one time in any of their life, and that someone can just say this shit, and then all of a sudden that's it. Okay, I don't want to see my dad there. Or like parents snatch, you know what I mean? Like growing up, the way I was treated by my mum, just because of who my dad was.
Yeah.
It's not my fucking problem. I lost a dad. He walked out on me too. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it's not just you.
And I think there's so many fucking blokes out there that have got similar as us. So they probably had a shit child. There's family members that don't bother with you. They turned your back on you, and it's like, and I'm like you. I just realised quickly that I just need to. This was kind of drummed into me from a kid, and this is what I mean when I shovel shit for my sister to pay that, or mate, I never had a fucking branded bit of clothing like Adidas or Reebok or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? Till I paid for it myself till I was about fucking 15, 16. Because my mum didn't work, and we, so we didn't have fuck all. So I realised very quickly from a very young age, mate, if I've only anything in this life, I've got to do it myself. And I think my whole life is, and I'm not going to say fucking out, but my whole life is stemmed around that. Like, I can't rely on anyone. I remember I took a former partner around my mum's house, and I literally fucking heard her say to my neighbour, "Oh, here's his latest victim." I go, "What the fuck says that?" To be like, latest victim? What the fuck? Do you know what I mean? Like, what the so and that's my mum. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean, mate? So I'm so like you said, and it's like now, I still find it hard to accept that love that my partner's got for me. Do you know what I mean? Because I know she loves me, as equal. More, I mean, not more than her son, but do you know what I mean? Like that, that love is equal and a bit different kind of love. But I know she loves me more than anything, and she's got my fucking back no matter what. And I feel very fortunate that I found that, and I think, I'd love for everyone to find that, because
it would, some people need that. And that's that saying, like I have, family that ain't blood and blood that ain't family.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a great saying, because it really is. I've got a lot of family members that fucking they honestly I'll say I'd do anything for family, but I'd like burn bridges with them where they can call me and go, "I'm struggling, I need this," and I'll be like, fucking. I'll give you an oar, but that's about it. Go sew up your own shit, because I'm fucking not doing it anymore.
No, it is, mate. It is, isn't it? And it's just, but that's it. Unfortunately, you can choose your friends, but not your family, innit? And So,
that's the thing I was going to say earlier. That's the problem is, when I said on the previous podcast, like loads of people don't ask how that you developed into anger. They only care about that you're now angry, and that's like a lot of my family is so angry all the time, shit that, but none of them actually bothered to really go, well, why? I wonder why, and I wonder why he's like this, and like you said, being independent is, point in my life, I don't need anyone. Like, a lot of people that offer, and I'm grateful for, but I don't. I'm like, I'm so self-reliant, and I don't reach out to a lot of my family because I just fucking they've never bothered in the past. I'm like, I don't need it. I don't need to. I trust and rely solely on myself and my missus. That's it, and that's happy enough for me. I'm like, fuck it, that
mate. 100%. No, exactly. I was just going to say that's we're exactly the same. Like me and my missus, sometimes she's just like, sometimes it annoys her because I've been so used to like relying on myself sometimes, trying to break down those barriers where you kind of, I don't know, make yourself that little bit more vulnerable where you do rely on someone, and it's just like, it's like now, like I said to you before, it's so fucking hard. But I think one thing that, the army, I had to fucking learn in the army when you're doing, tours and you're fucking seeing horrible things. It's like, you got to put that dark, those you got to compartmentalise everything in your fucking head, because you're seeing your mates get killed or get hurt, and it's like, well, we've got another 4 months to tour, you can't, you can't break. You got to process that at a time when it's, convenient or no, not convenient, but more fucking relevant, and where it's like there's no medicine in the gunfight. If one of your muckers goes down, all you want to do is go to him, but you can't because you're just going to be 2 fucking casualties or 2 dead people. You got to win the firefight, and I think that's why, it is a constant battle, mate. Just having to, I don't know, rely on partners for certain things, or if there's something, it's letting your guard down a little bit, isn't it? To
it's scary,
making yourself vulnerable to But I do now. I know, she'll never fucking hurt me, and we're going to be together forever, or and all that sort of stuff. That it's I can. I don't mean just emotionally. Do you know what I mean? I just mean everything in life. You want to commit to that person, and it's always been I don't know. There's days where I just think, oh fucking hell, well, what if it ended tomorrow? What will I do? Do you know what I mean? And I think that's always having that, that sort of doubt in the back of your mind.
But then I said like Mrs. asked before, down south, why are you always a bit worried about this and you worry about too much about that? And I'm like, because I've lived a life where fucking everyone's abandoned me. I really do. Everyone's abandoned me. So now I think every person's going to abandon me.
Exactly, mate.
Yeah. I mean, that makes you a bad person. It's just like me. You're subjected to your surroundings, and it creates you who you are. And it's so used to being abandoned, fucking not being able to rely on anyone and stuff like that. It's turned me into this sociable but unsociable person.
Well, Well, that's
if you know what I mean. That's what
I was trying to get out before. Where when people go, oh, I hate people, and it's I don't hate everywhere. I just mean in terms of with me and my missus, because it's like we said before about keeping your circle small.
Yeah.
Let's face it, mate. You got 200, 300, 400 friends on Facebook. Fucking half time you don't know all them people. 2, when was the last time they fucking phoned you up and said, "Right, mate, how are you?"
Yeah.
So you can have all these fucking friends on Facebook, but then, mate, I've literally got, I think, 2 friends on Facebook. I think one of my missus as well. It's even they don't like your fucking posts or anything like that. You put stuff up. Do you know what I mean? So it's
I know.
I don't get it, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's just look how many friends. But where are they? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're off the shit at the fan or you needed them, where would it? Do you know what I mean? It's just people want to be fucking nosy. But everyone wants to compare their life to yours and that. And it's just this is what I mean. Again, you sort of said about fucking, with those kiddies on the motorbike and shit like that. You know what I mean? It's just fucking, just, you know what I mean? Just do you and I'll fucking do me. Do you know what I mean? And that's kind of, I'm happy with that,
Yeah.
Like me and Mrs., all we kind of need is, we've got each other, everything else. Yeah, it's kind of a bonus. But I've had it where, like I said, if I care about you or you're in my circle, and mate, I will fucking do anything for you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I've had relations, and friendships break down because, it's I just get so fucking fed up, constantly messaging, because I am a very thoughtful person. Do you know what I mean? And I do I love hard, and I fucking, do you know what I mean? I'm thoughtful, and I think about people, and I think, fucking hell, they're doing that. Do you know what I mean? Let's send them drop me a little message. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you get a reply then, but not one of them fuckers would ever message me first. Do you know what I mean? So, like you said, growing up, one of my best mates, we were best mates since we was 13, 14. I never didn't even remember when my birthday was, But we had other groups of friends that were they'll all go out for a meal for their birthdays and they do this. And you just sort of think, well, what the fuck have I got to do? Am I dysfunctional in that? Because I've got a fucking mate that can't, my best mate don't remember my birthday, So, and I think as men, it's I don't know if just people now just are so fucking wrapped up in their own shit or doing their own thing that you make someone's fucking day just to go, oh, what, mate, how are you? I'm thinking about you. You're right.
It's even I've been 2 years ago now. I was in a club with a friend of a friend, and they were telling me I go out and do this and stuff. I do this work for charity and stuff like that, and I make these meals and do that, and I'm doing this charity work and stuff like that. And we was drinking, so he was a bit drunk. But I remember looking at this guy and going, "Wow, you must be so lonely, man!" Like that, and he fucking broke down crying. Because it's when I see nice people out there doing it, I know that they're the most loneliest people ever. That's why. I mean, that's why we kind of do it, because it's you try to be nice to everyone else because you know what it's like to be shat on and just destroyed and your soul ripped and shouted in front of you. It's and that's why I do. Whenever I see genuinely really nice people all the time, all I think is, "Fuck me, you've suffered a lot." You must have been through a lot of shit.
Yeah. Well, that's with me now. I feel I suppose word fucking liberated, for whatever better word. I think because since we've been doing this, and this is what our 6th, 7th episode, it's for fucking so many years I've kept my mouth shut.
Do you know what I mean? And and I think just like I said, even if fucking nobody watches this, just me and you having a talk,
Yeah, it's nice.
and chatting and get it off your chest,
Yeah.
And I know, but the thing is, it has made me feel better because I know the people that have fucking done this to me, and that they are watching, and I know, and it's just like, I know now they're now fucking sweating because it's like you have ruined my life. Do you know what I mean? And taken away the fucking everything that means dearest to me, and now that I'm having my say and my side of the story, that person does not like it one fucking bit, mate. And I'm not, and this. Well, obviously, we've both done this for my mental health and help others, and this is my biggest gripe with it. So, but just like I said last night, I spoke to, like, say, 3 strangers, never fucking met them, but because they can identify with what you're going through, and I'll just give my message, I'm always here, drop me a DM anytime, mate. The fact that I could do that, like, it has made me feel better because, like you said, you know what it's like to be hurt, you know what it's like to be fucking burnt and dragged through the mud and shit like that, and it's like, just to help one single person, or just someone that I don't know, like on social media, that are halfway around the country and you've never met them, to just go, yeah, all right, Carl, mate, fucking hell, this is what I'm going through, and you can relate to that person, So it has made me feel like a lot better, like the last sort of week or so. Even my missus has noticed it. She's like, fucking hell, fair play to you, babe. I'm really proud of you for doing this, and having your say. And like I said, and it's by no means my way of, getting into a slanging match with that person, or the people that have fucking hurt me, but it's such a fucking permanent thing, and that's what it is. Why I'm going through now, what I'm going through, like it's the biggest hardship in my life. Like PTSD is like, that's one thing, but I've lived with the years, and although I've lived with the pain of having my children manipulated against me, this has been going on for a couple of years now. But it's like, it's not that's my biggest thing. Do you know what I mean? Like PTSD. I've made my peace with it, and I can live with that, but I can't live with not seeing my kids. Do you know what I mean? And that fucking kills me because it's like the army. They teach you how to be a soldier, but they don't teach you how to be a civvy afterwards. Do you know what I mean? And that's and it's the same. Like, I can live with PTSD, but no one has taught me, like, well, this person's going to be able to take your kids away from you and manipulate them against you. I don't know how to be okay with that because it's such a fucking alien thing, and it's like, and it's for no reason other than their own selfish fucking hate. But do you know what I mean? But again, it's not vindicating. It's not accepted.
I guess some people just never really grow up in life, do they? I suppose it's just.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Yeah.
But well, I think that'll be it for today. I fucking haven't gone on for ages.
How long is it?
2 hours and 21 minutes.
Beautiful.
It's all for you guys. Fucking loving it. But no, just looking like even I'm getting tapped out now.
But mate, the thing is, you've been at work all day. I've been at work all day. So.
But we don't care because, like I said, if this helps one person, if just one person, listens to the stuff we talk about and
you can relate,
relate, and it helps you, then it's a win. And I mean, we got to do this every night. We will. So as long as it's helping people, and there's going to be some shitty people out there that don't like what we're saying, and do you know what?
Comment and let us know either way. Really.
Comment and please tell us, and we will tell you why we don't care. It's one of them. But as it was mentioned earlier, campaign against living miserably. For any of you that are living miserably, Calm, please go and Google them, and hopefully they can give you some advice.
Fathers for Justice.
And I'll add that onto the next one. Fathers for Justice.
Guys, they're massively, famous. Like Guy Ritchie reached out to them when he was going through a custody battle with Madonna. So even rich and famous people reach out to them, guys, because they're so powerful and connected, and and well educated in this. So guys, if there's any good lads that are fathers being sort of struggling to see their kids, go on their page, guys, because they've got a massive outreach as well. And
as we go along, we'll have these will be added on there, and we'll get a few of them, but these are ones that they've actually looked into. So, and also don't forget to please like and subscribe so this reaches out to more people, because it's not just going to help us, it will help others as well, hopefully. And if you have any thoughts, questions or queries, please email the frvpodcast@gmail.com, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. So thank you all for watching, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.